Mark, they were because I landed at like 8:30 in the morning, and so I listened to the fan for like 45 minutes. Then we had to go to a wake. I listened to the fan. Then driving from my mom's house to the hotel, I listened to the fan who carries the Giants. The hype yesterday about the Giants and the Jets because there's the Mets and the Yankees have been so abysmal this year. They are thirsting for football at the beginning of a season like they haven't around here in a very long time. And that's how it starts.
You and I both have 4 losses NFL going in tonight.
That's not bad with everything that happened. We differed on a couple. Like I got Cleveland right.
You had Cleveland right. I had San Francisco right.
Yep.
I had Green Bay right. You had Miami right.
We both have
both had Seattle wrong. Both had Minnesota wrong.
I have Buffalo tonight, right? You have the Jets?
Yeah.
All the big Florida schools won on Saturday.
Yeah, I don't know about what did the I's and the A's do?
I don't know about A. I won, and they were big dogs too. Because FAMU played South Florida, FAMU might be the only Florida college that lost a game. I gotta check that.
I'm looking. Florida Atlantic lost to Ohio.
Oh. Is it close?
7.
Oh, at home.
And UCF turned it over. Like they drove down the first 3 times into the red zone and turned it over 2 of the first 3 times.
John Perry, the official, had not 1 but 2 flights canceled. He drove 8 or 9 hours to get here yesterday.
Wow.
From Ohio. Paul, that looked pretty good. That felt pretty good when they did it. We all kind of liked that when they made the Ridley trade last year. We all went, ooh, that's sneaky. Paul, you got to help me out. It's early on a Monday. F-Pod?
His play of the day. Felipe's play of the day.
Gotcha.
He cares more about that segment than we do.
Gotcha. I'm like, F-Pod? Who's that short for? Frankie who? Felipe may need more time. If he just goes with highlights from the Dolphins-Chargers game, we may have to give him 5 minutes. Roger, if you listen closely, it's either Daniel Jones getting sacked or the Niners scoring, one or the other. All right. Let's do this. Got the Freedom Tower right across the Hudson from where we are on this September 11th.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Fired up to be with you on this Monday. If you're a fan of a Florida football team, in all likelihood, you had a great weekend. How the heck are you? We are Miller and Moulton. This is the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com on this September 11th. Thanks so much for being with us. Top of the morning to you, Mark. How was your weekend?
My weekend was full of football, and it was delightful, David. It was absolutely fantastic. It was a great football weekend. Lots of eventful football on Saturday, and then Sunday delivered as it always does with the National Football League. Even mixed in a little tennis over the weekend, David. It was all sports all the time, and it was very, very good.
Well, you must not have Spectrum cable then. So good for you. Glad you could take it in. I feel badly for the folks in the New York metropolitan area. Also in the Tampa area, many a New York sports fan, many a Giant fan in the Tampa. Spectrum, a major cable provider. And last night's Cowboys-Giants game was on NBC, so it was not affected by the Spectrum Disney dispute. I think many a Giant fan looking back now wishes that game was the one that could have been blacked out, not potentially tonight's Monday Night Football game between the Jets and the Bills. We had damn near a Florida sweep, right? I mean, had to have one Florida college team lose because South Florida played FAMU, and turns out FAU lost at home to Ohio. But otherwise, I mean, the Big Five, if you will, in college, all three on the road in the NFL. I mean, this is a hell of a football weekend.
Florida Sports Network living high off that weekend.
Tell you.
Florida teams delivering. Terrific, terrific weekend.
All right, can I get to the important stuff?
Sure.
So you are from Michigan, and I was traveling to Michigan on Friday because CBS did UNLV Michigan on Saturday, and we kind of expected what kind of a game it would be. Michigan just, way too much talent for them. Final score was probably a little closer than some had thought at 35-7. But, a game in the big house, and you said, listen, that's cute. That's nice and all. I've been there. You'll be impressed. But you need to go to Zingerman's.
Right.
Need to go to the deli. And so I went to the downtown Ann Arbor, the Zingerman's Delicatessen. I like it. That's now we're talking. When it's got delicatessen in its name. That's the one I want. It's got 19 locations. I'm going to the one that's got delicatessen in its name right there. That's the one I'm driving to. So this is really good. It was really good. I mean, it's not.
Well, you set a high bar. I mean,
Yes.
You're someone who's traveled to the city, and I have not done a lot of delis in New York City. I have friends who have and say,
right.
When you leave New York City, this is as good as you can get outside of the city.
It's very good. Do I think it's Harold's? Do I think it's Carnegie? No, but put it this way. Also, little things that impress you. All right. Their bread's excellent. All right. Key to a good deli sandwich. All right. Got to start, what's the first thing you taste? The bread. They do the bread right. Okay. The ends are crisp, yet the middle is soft, tasty. They got good bread. That's important. I haven't even gotten to the corned beef yet. I'm already excited. So good call. Thank you.
I'm glad you enjoyed.
Appreciate it. You made a significant contribution in my life. I mean, let's face it, UNLV Michigan game or the sandwich at Zingerman's. What do you think the highlight was of the weekend in Ann Arbor?
Sandwich at Zingerman's.
There you go. Although I will say, take in the big house. I mean, to see 110,000 people seated comfortably. Okay, at one place. It's kind of impressive. I mean, it is. You look around and go, wow. So that's why they call it the big house. Okay. So there you go. 2 weeks in. We're going to have Gary Danielson on the show in less than an hour. He's seen Ohio State and Michigan. This week, he's going to see Georgia. Following week, he's going to see Penn State. I mean, Gary's just traveling the top 5, top 7. That's really, and he was hoping Alabama was going to be in that equation, but apparently they're not. Oh, how about that? How about that? The Cowboys had to be impressive just to try to top the Texas Longhorns on Saturday night and be the number 1 football team in the state.
Big road win for Texas. Big home win for the Canes, and the SEC took a right and a left on Saturday, back to back.
Down goes the SEC. Down goes the SEC. Yes. Yes. Are we sure they're going to win all tiebreakers this year? Might have to settle for just one team in the playoff. But, Mark, all 3 Florida NFL teams were on the road. 2 of them were underdogs. They all won. How about Baker Mayfield and the Bucs?
Boy, I'll tell you, that was not the most aesthetically pleasing game, but Baker made a couple of plays here and there when he needed to.
Yeah. Final drive, put them away, couple of key throws. Yeah. Shook off a tough start, but didn't make the big mistake. Vikings made the mistakes, not the Bucs. Listen, Mark, I don't think the Buccaneers are going to be aesthetically pleasing.
I don't know if they can be.
Right. I don't. First off, Todd Bowles, okay, is not into aesthetically pleasing. He's not. It's not the kind of coach he is. You know, he doesn't give flamboyant press conferences. I mean, that's not his style. But that's exactly how the Bucs want to play. Good defense, win the turnover battle, take care of the ball on offense, slow the game down. And as Baker said after the game, I've been around a while. You kind of have learned that the next big play is the next play. You just keep plugging. And he was a plugger yesterday, and it worked.
It did. And you're right. They defensively were able to create some turnovers, get Minnesota to make some dumb mistakes. Minnesota did a few of them on their own.
Yes, and that helps.
When they
that
just kind of throw you a ball. Here, have this.
We don't want
this. We don't
this.
want it.
We won all the close games last year. This year, it will be different. Why? Because that's how it works. That's why most people are not picking us this year, because they know we pulled victory from the jaws of defeat consistently last year. And the tables are likely to turn. But this just in, I believe Tua has hooked up with Tyreek Hill again for another big play. Ha, ha, ha. Where are all the Tua haters now? No. Miller and Moulton have taken 3 years of crap about Tua. No. No, man up. Man up. No, show your face today. 21,000 on the text line.
Let me get that text line open, David. Let me get that. I didn't have it open. I'm sure they're all here to apologize.
Right. No, he's a bum. He can't play. He's not any good. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. Okay. Who's the best quarterback on the field yesterday? Huh? By the way, end of the game, when it was important, who took his team down the field to give them the lead? And then who got the ball back with a chance? A field goal, and they win. Field goal. 40 yards. They need 40 yards. Right. Mm-hmm. And I'm just saying. He's a bum, remember? Bum. Can't play. Going to be out of the league. Dolphins are going to have a losing record. Right. Come on now. Come on, line up. Line up. Be proud. Be loud. Come on now.
With that banged up offensive line, by the way.
0 sacks. 0. Chargers gave up 2 and a roughing and an intentional grounding all in the final series. Dolphins sacks 0 for 0. Huh, that's funny. So what happens when a quarterback gets rid of the ball quickly? Quick passing game. And yet at the same time, the ball went downfield. It wasn't dinking and dunking. By the way, this is when I knew the Dolphins were going to win. How about the Chargers giving up that field goal at the end of the first half? Is that not the most LA Chargers thing you've seen? You know, it's good to have football back. We hadn't had an LA Chargers thing in about 8 months. And then 9 seconds to go, the Dolphins have the ball in their own 25, and the Chargers give up a field goal. They give up a long play and a long pass interference. Only the Chargers.
One of the worst pass interference defensive plays you'll ever see.
Oh, my goodness.
Because literally, you could let him catch the ball, tackle him, and the half's over.
Half's over.
It was as bad of a here's 3 points. Not that those 3 points meant anything.
No, really. It was just, for fantasy. No, it didn't come back and play a role in the game at all. So, there you go. I mean, at least Adam in our Twitch chat room, he's not admitting how wrong he is, except to say that he did draft Mike White in a fantasy league. That's how much confidence he had in Tua. So, okay, at least he's owning up a little bit. Wait, I'm sorry. This is just another completion from Tua to Tyreek Hill while we were talking. Yes, for about 20 yards on average. Just while we were talking, we'll try to keep it down so that we don't miss any of Tua and Tyreek's connections during the show. When the show started, it was 11 for 215. Don't know what it's going to be by the end of the show. Could be about 16 for 300. I thought Tyreek was joking about the whole 2,000-yard thing. Didn't you? Didn't you think,
no, I knew he wasn't joking. I just knew they had to run the ball more to be effective. Right. 466, 215. Okay.
Right. I thought he was joking. I thought he was just, got a little carried away, the excitement, bored, not going to play in any of the preseason games. I just need to get myself all fired up. No, apparently he's serious about this 2,000-yard receiving season, which is good because right now he's on pace for about 3,700.
You're going to put those big numbers off. It's always good to get off to a good start, David.
So I'm told. Speaking of big, we got a big show. Gary Danielson's coming up in a little more than 45 minutes. Chris Landry is going to join us every Monday as well. He's going to talk about the big three Florida NFL teams. We might throw in a little Texas, Alabama talk as well. And Troy Aikman's going to join us. It's in the bonus hour. You're going to have to sign up, follow us on Twitch, maybe go to an app. But yeah, big show, big Monday, September 11th edition of Miller and Moulton. Thanks for listening.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Why
Just
not?
trying to- Are you sure?
It's a lot of NFL.
Yeah. I was actually wanting us to have more time to talk about things.
If I've got this right, David, favorites went so far. The favorites have 6 wins. If I've got this right, it's wins and covers, I should say. There are some wins and non-covers, but Baltimore won and covered. Atlanta won and covered. Cincinnati did not. San Francisco won and covered. Washington won, did not cover.
Atlanta won and covered, right?
Yeah, Baltimore won and covered. Atlanta won and covered. San Francisco won and covered. Jacksonville won and covered. Philadelphia won and covered. And Dallas won and covered.
So 6 winning covers.
If I've got that right. So, because Cincinnati, Cleveland was not a win and cover. Arizona, Washington was not a win and cover. Tampa Bay, Minnesota, no. Tennessee, New Orleans, no. Miami and the Chargers, no. The Rams and Seattle, no. Green Bay and Chicago, no. And Las Vegas and Denver, no. And then Detroit and Kansas City if we go back to Thursday.
Do you see 12 road teams covered? Let's see. The home teams that covered were Atlanta, Baltimore.
Yeah. Well, Cleveland, 12 road teams covered.
Yeah, that's. I don't think that's right.
7, 8.
Because Cleveland was a home team.
No, he's right.
So Cleveland, Baltimore, Atlanta were the only home teams that covered?
Yeah.
Wow. Look at that. Well, road teams are 10-5 straight up. Now, a few were favored. Jacksonville was favored. San Francisco was favored. Dallas is favored.
Philadelphia.
I mean, but Baseball Hour DC is coming along famously. Hey, but Robbie Gold's sitting at home. Don't worry about it. Don't sign him. No, don't spend money on a kicker. Whatever you do, don't do it. It's not important. They don't decide games. Nope. Nope. Well, Paul, against the Giant offense, the Cowboys defense is that good. It's been that way for a while. Can of relief. There was a lot to pay attention to this weekend. The Royals pitcher who had 3 consecutive wild pitches, I missed that.
I'm just now seeing that they played Toronto, which is why you saw it.
Well, Ken Relief also likes to throw in the obscure stuff, you know.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes after the hour. Gary Danielson in 40 minutes time here on Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. The starting 5, if by chance there is something that you missed this weekend, hopefully we'll fill in that blank for you coming up in a little more than 15 minutes time. Mark, there were some, it's early. It's 1 week. We're not even complete in the NFL. We're only 2 weeks into college. I know. It's important to throw that disclaimer out there. But man, some trends are continuing. Taking the points. It's a good thing to do. When in doubt, take the points. When in doubt, take the road team. And if you can get the road team in points, wow. I mean, man, we're 15 games into this NFL season. The numbers are stunning. I mean, what is it straight up road teams right now through 15 games? 10-5?
10-5.
Right. New Orleans, Atlanta, Washington, Cleveland, Baltimore. The only home teams to win. Can the Jets make it 6 tonight? On the one hand, they're getting
I certainly
points.
hope so.
Mark needs it for a winning week. He's 2-2 in his fantastic 5. Once again, like I said, it's September. Whenever I make picks, you go the other way. 2-5 week 1, 2-4 yesterday. Or over the weekend, I should say. How in the world could Seattle lose to the Rams? For goodness sakes. I almost did a Jags Seahawks teaser in which I would have lost the condo that I am renovating right now. That's how much money I would have put on that teaser. Because I would have taken the Jags and the Seahawks, who were both laying 5, and instead I would have combined them, and they both would have been getting a point. So in theory, that's right. All the Jags and Seahawks would have to do is beat the Colts and the Rams, 2 of the 5 worst teams in the league.
Week 1, man. Week 1. Stupid things happen. They always do.
Yep.
And that's what I was thinking watching games yesterday, is how much of this is week 1 flukiness, how much of this is real. And I certainly didn't think what Seattle had happened to them at the face of the Rams was real.
Leading at the half, by the way. Seahawks leading at the half at home. Get outscored like 24-0 in the second half. To the 2023 Rams, by the way. Not the 2021 Rams. 2 very different teams. Wow. Jags trailing with 6 minutes to go in Indianapolis. Why? Because it's the Jags in Indy. Certain trends really did hold true. The Browns own Joe Burrow and the Bengals.
They do. This just in, by the way, until you hear a whistle, keep playing, Jags.
Right.
Just a thought.
Tank Bigsby. Don't know why he didn't learn this at Pop Warner High School, Auburn. Okay. Keep playing through the whistle, in fact. Bobby Bowden used to teach you to play through the whistle. And whistles can echo for a long time. Yes, you discuss those late hits and personal foul penalties with the official after playing through the whistle. Correct. But, man, road team, take them. Points, take them. I mean, how many home teams who were favored covered?
2. 2. Baltimore and Atlanta.
When we're relying on the Falcons, okay, that's when you know we are digging deep.
Baltimore and Atlanta were your two home favorites that won and covered.
And Baltimore was not impressive either. They had like 250 yards of offense. Dobbins blows out his Achilles. They're going to be signing one of those veteran running backs. Man. But this just in, heading into week one, the Indianapolis, a house of horrors for Jacksonville, and for 54 minutes it was. And for those who bet money on the Jags laying 5, for 55, 56 minutes it was. Oh, the late turnover in the cover, and then stopping them on the 2 in the final minute. Oh, thank you so much. And don't kick the field goal on 4th down. Okay. Last thing you want to do is line up for an onside kick, when you need 2 scores. Okay, first-time head coach, so apparently he didn't get that memo. And mark this just in, the Raiders own the Broncos. Don't think about it, just bet it. The Raiders own the Broncos. Doesn't matter the quarterback, the coach, it just doesn't matter. On both sides, does not matter.
Well, and the Packers, David. Owns. Who owns the Bears?
It's my favorite game heading into the weekend because of just this fact. I mean, this is Pedro and the Yankees right here. Who's your daddy? Daddy. Capital Daddy. Exclamation points at the end of Daddy. This hurts. This hurts. I'm expecting to see like a video from Baltimore 40 years ago with the Mayflower vans leaving in the middle of the morning. I'm expecting Bears fans. I'm telling you, just go to Portland. It just, where's an expansion city you could, take up shop? It's I don't know how much more the Bears can take. Their franchise quarterback looks like a bum, and they can't beat the Packers, who may have a third good quarterback at least. Who knows? It's one game, and it was against you guys, so
tough to tell.
Right, can't make any conclusions. Oh man, and the Cowboys on the Giants. I mean, honestly, the trends did continue week 1 of the NFL. They really did. If you owned somebody heading into the weekend, you continued to own them. Only that funky ending at the end of the Jacksonville-Indianapolis game. Jags able to A, win, B, cover, C, score more than 27 points, which they had never done at Indianapolis before. So they got off the proverbial, as Chris Berman would say, schneid.
Which, looking back on week 1, is kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Just beating teams that you're supposed to beat, who you have zero luck and zero success in beating.
Mark, I'm sorry. Hold on one second. I'm just getting an update. Tua just hit Tyreek Hill for another big play. Okay, continue. 21,000 on the text line. Come on, man up. Man up. You can still do it. We don't even know your name, where you're from. Okay, but we have all your old texts. We know what you've said to us and what you've said about Tua. Come on now. Hey, at least man up. I mean, he threw from 5,400 yards yesterday. Come on now. Just man up. It's okay. It's all right. Hell, we're wrong 73 times a show. You're only wrong once. But just come on. Man up. It's okay to admit it.
You hate him. He's no good. He's a bum, right?
He's a bum. We're bums for saying that he could play. And that's all we said, by the way. We thought he was pretty good. No. We still believe in him. We think he's a franchise quarterback. That's all. We didn't say he was, Mahomes. We just thought, he's going to be the quarterback of the Dolphins for the rest of the decade. That's all. We just thought he was the guy. We didn't say he was the guy. We just said he was the guy. So, okay. Now the qualifiers are coming in. It helps when you have a Tyreek Hill. Yeah, as a matter of fact, it does. It does. So were you saying the same thing about Mahomes, by the way, when he had a Tyreek Hill? Or, oh, no, it's just qualifiers for Tua. I got it. I understand how this works now. Got it. Okay. Well, wait, I'm sorry. Tua just completed another pass there across midfield.
Without his left tackle.
Right.
Just patched a line together for week 1.
Yep.
Threw for 400 and whatever yards.
Oh, I'm sorry. End of the first half. That's a pass interference. We're going to line up for a field goal. Continue, Mark.
Well, I'll give Tua some credit for that. Oh, that was just pitiful on the Chargers' part.
It really was. Once again, nobody can out-Chargers the Chargers.
The starting 5 is next, right here. Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Well, RCB, 7 of it was a pick 6. But there's no doubt in the second half. I mean, the Packers moved the ball very effectively. It was, 10-6, 10-7 at the half, something like that? Now, DC, we're not going there about, the Tua versus Herbert thing. Herbert's a good quarterback. Tua's a good quarterback. It's just that nobody, a lot of people saying Tua was a bum. Can't play. He sucks. He's not good. We were like, no, he can play. Well, and Jalen Phillips had a nice final series. How about the Dolphins? 1 sack the whole game. They get 2 sacks and force an intentional grounding on the final series. There you go. Game on the line. Because your place kicker missed an extra point. Yeah,
I thought they were going to lose by 1.
I know.
I did. I thought they were going to lose by 1.
And that kicker's a good kicker too. But Robbie Gold's sitting at home there, Denver. Don't sign him. Don't spend money on a kicker. Okay, don't do it. By the way, what were Cowboy fans thinking first extra point of the season? Guy missed it. I mean, come on. For that commercial break, Cowboy fans, what were you thinking? Not about the game, just about I cannot believe. The last time we had a kicker and he kicked, he missed 4 extra points. Now we replace him, and this guy misses his first extra point. Robbie Gold's not being signed because he won't play for $1.5 million. Because Robbie Gold actually wants to make about $4 to $6 million. Why? Because he's never missed a kick in the playoffs in 12 years. And so he thinks, I'm pretty good. I think I should be paid, decent wage. And they're like, no, we want to go cheap on kicker. We want to save $2-3 million. We want to save 1% of the salary cap. So we're not going to pay you 1%. Kicker's not worth 1%. Okay. I can't root for enough teams to lose because they went cheap on a kicker. I can't. Well, they didn't sweep the Mariners, but they took 3 out of 4. Yeah, no, for the next regime that comes in a couple years, it'll be good that they can start with Santos. Yeah.
Someone's feeling it this morning.
I got just enough sleep. I woke up before my alarm. I mean, when it's 26-0 at the half, you don't have to watch a whole lot more.
No. I went to bed before the half. It was 26 spit. I'm like, this is.
I left 2 scores open for the morning. Giants Rockies were in the 7th, and I just wrote down underneath Dallas and the Giants 26-0 at the half, and then left room for other stuff. Like we can go to bed. Snuggling in 10-ish, 10:15. Ah, glorious.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the hour. Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Gary Danielson coming up at the top of the hour. Mark, I have to, I'm impressed. If you're going to go down with the ship, go down with the ship, I guess. We've given all the Tua haters a chance in the first 38 minutes of the show. Twitch chat room, 21,000 on the text line. It's okay, anonymously. Just, say, you know what? Okay, I was a little harsh.
No. That's not at all what they're saying.
No.
Just remember when, not if Tua gets hurt. Payback's you know what.
Yep. Empire 7 in the Twitch chat room. I still think Tua's a bum. Having Tyreek Hill's a cheat code. Okay. All right. No, I guess I can appreciate. I don't know. I mean, stubborn, but okay. All right, fine. 21 minutes now before the hour. Time for.
It's time for someone to take back this segment, if for no other reason than to stop David from talking about Meghan and Harry.
Really?
Here's Mark Miller with the starting 5.
I'm sorry, I'm still hungover on that Dolphins win.
It's the starting 5 on Miller and Moulton. Here's number 1.
I think he's queuing up all the Tua to Tyreek highlights for the play of the day. Hey, if you were a Florida-based NFL team, you won. Like Tampa going to Minnesota. Baker Mayfield 2 touchdown passes. How about Chase McLaughlin, little 57-yard field goal with 5 minutes to go? How about Todd Bowles sending him out there to attempt it? Bucks get 2 3-and-outs the final 2 times Minnesota had the ball. Add it all up, 2017 Tampa Bay. All right. I mean, Mike Evans is playing his final year in Tampa. I mean,
maybe his final months in Tampa, David.
Right. But then the Dolphins. They're out in L.A. at SoFi. If we had told you beforehand, by the way, that Herbert and the Chargers were going to run for 200 and pass for 250 and score 34 points, what would your prediction have been? Probably not Miami 36, L.A. Chargers 34, because Tua threw for 7,000 yards. Okay, for, 66. Tyreek Hill caught nearly half of it, 11 for 215 and 2 touchdowns. And after the game said, I don't think anybody can cover me. And he's not trash talking. He's just stating facts. Dolphins got 3 sacks. Chargers got none. So much for needing Teron Armstead, huh? Either that or the other Bosa and Khalil Mack suck. Anyway, Dolphins with the win. Big win. Could at the end of the season be a wild card tiebreaker, who knows?
Got that right.
And Jacksonville snapped the 5-game losing streak in Indianapolis. They scored 2 touchdowns in the final 6 minutes. They beat the Colts 31-21. Calvin Ridley, by the way, 8 catches, over 100 yards and a touchdown. Trevor with 2 touchdown passes. That's your number 1 seed entering the AFC playoffs, the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's a Moulton thing, not a Miller thing. Miller was staring at Moulton like, shut up already.
No. I have him as a 2. I'm not that far behind you, David.
This just in, the Browns own the Bengals. Unfortunately, they don't own anybody else, and they only play Cincy twice a year, not 12 times a year. But once again, Cleveland 24, Cincinnati 3. Joe Burrow threw for 82 yards. Good thing that contract extension doesn't kick in quite yet. Seriously, the Bengals had 142 yards offense. 6 first downs. I'm going to say that again. 6 first downs. Not on a drive for the game. Baltimore beat Houston 25-9, but J.K. Dobbins tore his Achilles. He's out for the year. We'll say the passing game for Baltimore, Lamar at 169 yards, no touchdowns, and interception. He completed a lot of passes, but they did not move the ball downfield. They had 260 yards total offense. It's an interesting win for the Ravens, just saying. Mark, I love Mike Vrabel. You know I have a man crush on the Tennessee Titans. But when you're down 16-12 with under 2.5 minutes to play, and you have 4th and 6 on the 11, do you kick a field goal to cut it to 1 and then line up and play defense and use your timeouts? Or do you go for it? You're on the 11. If you don't convert, you play defense, use your timeouts. Anyway, they kicked the field goal, never got the ball back. Saints beat the Titans 16-15. Bryce Young had a rough day. Threw for just 146 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Ritter wasn't great, 115 yards, but 15 of 18, and he actually threw the ball twice to Kyle Pitts. Unbelievable. Tyler Algier with 2 touchdown runs, Atlanta 24-10. This just in, wait, hold on. Niners have scored again on the Steelers. Yes, 30-7 San Francisco.
Ooh. Boy, did Pittsburgh look bad.
They did. Brock Purdy, 2 touchdowns. McCaffrey ran for $162 and a touchdown. Pickett was only sacked 5 times and threw 2 picks. I mean, no big deal. Nothing to see here.
That revamped offensive line was just rock solid against San Francisco.
Maybe those 2 guys they traded to get to the roster limit, they maybe want them back, trade a couple other guys instead.
Maybe.
Washington had to score 10 in the 4th to beat Arizona. Ouch. 20-16. At least they didn't ruin their home opener. Josh Harris had to be watching the game going, I paid $6 billion for this? $billion? Denver missed an extra point because nobody wants to sign Robbie Gould. And the Raiders beat them for the 7th straight time, 17-16. Philly only had 251 yards of offense. They only scored 1 offensive touchdown. 4 Jake Elliott field goals. Darius Slay with a pick 6. They held off New England. Tom Brady was back in the house. Everybody was happy, joy. But the Eagles won 25-20. The Chicago Bears are going to be renamed. They're going to be named Green Bay Packers 2. Green Bay beat them again, 38-20. Jordan Love with 3 touchdown passes. Apparently, there's a rule in the NFL: the Packers are not allowed to play without a competent quarterback. The old guys must stay until the young guys become competent. 30 years in running. Quay Walker with a pick 6 for Green Bay. This just in, the Rams beat Seattle in Seattle and outscored them 23-0 in the second half to do it. Stafford threw for 334. To who? I have no idea. Seattle was held to 180 yards offense for the game. As bad as Seattle's performance was at home, it wasn't the Giants at home against the Cowboys. If you didn't watch Sunday Night Football, good for you, unless you're a Cowboys fan. Dallas led 26-0 at the half. They had 7 sacks, 3 turnovers. They also blocked a kick and returned it for a score, 40-0. These two teams have been playing for a long time. Dallas had never beaten or shut out the Giants by as big a margin as they did last night, 40-0. Monday Night Football. It's the reason I'm in Jersey City. Buffalo, a 2-point favorite against the Jets. Remember, road teams are 10-5. Just saying. Mark Miller needs the Jets to win, or at least cover, to have a winning week. A lot riding on this game, over under 45.5. Baseball. It is the baseball hour after all. Rays took 3 of 4 from Seattle, 6-3 the final. Zach Eflin, his 14th win. They're now 3 back of Baltimore, who finally lost the game. Apparently, Mark, they're allowed to lose on the occasional Sunday. Boston beat them 7-3. Remember, Rays and Orioles begin a 4-gamer on Thursday. Mets beat the Twins to avoid the sweep 2-0. Twins magic number is 11, however, because the Guardians lost 3 out of 4 to the Angels 2-1. They're 7.5 back. Houston beat San Diego 12-2. Their lead in the West is suddenly 2.5. Texas beat Oakland, swept them 9-4. So Seattle with the loss is 2.5 behind Houston. Texas is 3 back. Seattle's now the 6th seed. They're actually behind Toronto, who swept Kansas City 5-2 the final. They've won 6 of 7. They're the 5 seed. So you got it. Toronto the 5, Seattle the game back. Half a game back in Seattle. Out of the playoffs is Texas. That's easy compared to the National League wild card. Marlins won 2 out of 3 from the Phillies. 5-4 was the final with 3 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th. Atlanta beat Pittsburgh. They swept them 5-2. The Braves' magic number is 8. 8. They could clinch this week, the Braves. The Cubs beat the Diamondbacks, 5-2. They're 3 back of Milwaukee. They're the 5 seed right now are the Cubs. Diamondbacks took 2 of 3 in the series and are the 6 seed right now by a half a game over the Marlins. So Diamondbacks in the playoffs, Marlins a half a game out. Reds and Giants both a game and a half behind Arizona for the final playoff spot. Milwaukee held the Yankees hitless for 10 innings and lost 4-3-13. Don't ask, it's baseball. Reds snapped a 3-game skid beating St. Louis. Giants doubled up Colorado 6-3. Dodgers magic number 6. They won yesterday. Detroit beat the White Sox. Very ugly story coming out of East Lansing. Michigan State suspends. He's head coach for now. It's literally just waiting for the paperwork. Mel Tucker, they are going to fire him. They've already said they're going to fire him. The suspension, they literally said publicly, we have to suspend him by rule before we fire him. We're going to fire him. He's never coaching another game here. Apparently, though, they've had an 18-month investigation. Why is everything coming to a head this weekend? Because ESPN and USA Today were about to go public with a report in which Tucker is accused of sexually harassing a sexual assault victim. Yeah, it's an unseemly story. Listen, he's not losing much or anything. He's only losing $9 million a year, and he had a 10-year contract. I mean, it's not like he's sacrificing a lot here by his ridiculous behavior. New AP polls out. Georgia 1, Michigan 2, Florida State 3, Texas up to 4 after the upset of Alabama, USC 5. So, yes, Texas 4, USC 5, Florida State 3.
Who's more back, USC, Texas, or Florida State?
There's the poll question right there, Mark Miller. Well done. Well done. Notre Dame's 9th, Bama 10th. Tennessee's 11. They're visiting the Gators this week. Remember, they haven't won in the Swamp in 20 years. Colorado's up to 18, and Miami's in the poll. They're 22nd after their impressive win against Texas A&M. By the way, the Pac-12 has 8 teams ranked in the top 25. That seems like a league that, you should maybe add some schools to. Go big. No? They're going the other way? Okay. U.S. Open on Saturday, American teenager Coco Gauff won her first Grand Slam. She needed 3 sets to win. She was very impressive in doing so. And then she called out all the naysayers, which is funny because I hadn't heard
any.
Right. But okay, whatever gets you going. Djokovic, 3 grueling sets yesterday. Match took about 3.5 hours, but he beat Medvedev. His 4th U.S. Open, his 24th Grand Slam. I mean, he's 36 years old, oldest guy in the Open era to win a major. No big deal or anything. He's the greatest tennis player of all time. He is. I mean, you may like Federer more, you may like Rafa more, but he's the best. Sweden's Vincent Norrman won the Irish Open. He played his college golf at Florida State. But also Shane Lowry, who was a controversial European Ryder Cup captain's pick, he finished tied for 3rd, 2 back. Minjee Lee won on the LPGA Tour in Cincinnati. And our buddy Steve Flesh, who's been on the show a few times, he shot a 62 with the final round with his kid on the bag to win the Champions Tour event. So there, 9 minutes before the hour, that was
the Starting Five every weekday morning at this time on Miller and Moulton.
U.S. finished 4th in the World Cup. Shocking upset and loss in the semis to Germany. They basically half their team didn't play in the bronze medal game against Canada. I mean, there's probably other stuff out there I could have mentioned, but I don't know. It's early.
Yeah. When we don't medal in basketball tournaments, that's not good.
No, it's not. It's not. Now, I don't want to say we didn't send our A team. We didn't send our B team. In fact, I think the C team's offended. Okay. I don't want to say that we were, digging deep on the payroll here, but we're digging deep a little bit. We should have beat Germany, though. I mean, come on, Germany. It's not like Dirk was playing. I mean, please. But anyway.
Gary Danielson coming up in about 7 minutes' time. Chris Landry to talk NFL football in the 8 o'clock hour. And who's that other guest that you said we have?
He's been Joe Buck's broadcast partner for 22 years. I don't know if you heard of him. His name is Troy Aikman.
On this show?
Yes.
Huh. I'll be damned.
Thought the very same thing. So,
So a pretty good little show lined up. A little Danielson, a little Landry, and a little Aikman.
Hold on. Tua just hit Tyreek Hill again, Mark.
Text lines open at 21,000 for your rebuttals right here. Miller and Moulton, thanks so much for listening to the Florida Sports Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again.
Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here.
Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologist, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
RCB of tonight's game can't surpass last night's game. That'll be a little disappointing. But it's week one. We've said it for years. Crazy stuff happens week one. All right. I think I saved it. Wes. Thought I saved it. It's like 68 million after this year.
What, Jimbo's buyout?
Yeah. I'm sorry, it's 76.8 million. It's 67.5 million after next year. So to review, 77 after this year, basically, 67.5 after the following. It goes down like 9.5 million a year. Also, let me ask you this. I mean, if you're going to come up with $77 million, which, listen to, those, hell, the 6 SMU guys just came up with $400 million. So, I mean, it's not like they don't have the guys that can do it. But just curious, who you hiring?
Urban. It's my answer to every open job.
Well, when we were texting about the Michigan State thing yesterday and you said Urban, that's when I'm like, all right, I better stop texting him. I go, that's going to be the answer, apparently. I'm just curious. I mean, who you...
Miami's O-line was really good.
Yeah, they
really good.
Yeah. Didn't think they could do that.
No, I didn't. I certainly didn't.
By the way, you know who had a really good week? Lee Sterling.
Lost his game of the week. but did win his big 45 unit play.
And he was big on both the Canes and the Dolphins.
Yep.
Big on both to win, not just cover. For his clients, he went 10-3. Yeah, he had a 45 unit parlay and he hit it.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is hour 2 of Miller and Moulton on this September 11th. And I join you from Jersey City, New Jersey, in town, so to speak, for Monday Night Football tonight. The Bills and the Jets capping off what has been an entertaining week 1 in the NFL. Our next guest is already 2 weeks into his work season. He's Gary Danielson, part of college football on CBS. He has seen Ohio State and Michigan in his first 2 games. He goes back to his old stomping grounds this week, the SEC, for a little Georgia, South Carolina action. Good morning, Gary. How are you?
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling like I did back with the Lions. If I could just take a minute here, okay? You know how in the NFL they always announce the quarterback last when they do the starting lineups at the stadium? And in Detroit, that was not a good spot if you were a quarterback. Okay, so you would, and then Gary Danielson boos would rain down. So I knew, Beckman was the stadium announcer. So I got it where I went right before Billy, and I wanted him to connect at quarterback Gary Danielson and running back Billy Sims right together. Just not even a comma, Right. And then it worked perfect. I kind of feel that way today with Troy Aikman coming on after me.
Well, it's 2 hours, though. There's a lot of separation.
We got Gary Danielson and Troy Aikman coming later, ladies and gentlemen. Just saying. Kind of gave me those vibes. How we doing, guys?
No commas, Gary. No commas with you.
I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
Well, we're well, and in all seriousness, I mean, it's against opponents that they were superior to. They were both 4 to 5 touchdown favorites, but just your general early season impressions, having seen Ohio State and Michigan up close.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me in this year that stuck out, I think, to everyone. You don't have to be, played in the NFL or had done 30 years of games. For this year, the quarterback position, the experience and the next level throws has flipped. For about 8 years here, Michigan was playing with the second best quarterback on the field. And, the pro quarterback position was manned at Ohio State. Buckeyes have a lot of good players. They have a really good team. But the one position that has taken a huge jump in all of college football, I could name, off the top of my head, 10, and you could add 10 more in college football that are, dynamically making offenses all around college football just impossible to slow down. That position is manned by Michigan this year, and it looks like they're going to use them in a big way. So Michigan always has good players, and I don't think from the game we saw we can tell, how good they are in the secondary or, what can happen if, the Michigan's receivers who are good, but they're not Ohio State receivers. They are not the receivers I saw, when Bama was at the top of the rung. But they have 2 really NFL running backs, probably 6 or 7 NFL offensive linemen. It looks like they've got 3 NFL defensive tackles. So, it looks like Penn State is right at their same level, especially at quarterback. So it looks like the Big Ten has 3 legitimate contenders for national championship this year.
So how do you break these games down, Gary, when they're playing the UNLVs of the world and Ohio State was playing Indiana, which isn't a very good Big Ten team? What is it you're looking for to try to give you an indication of what's going to happen later in the year when the competition gets a little stiffer?
Yeah, I think philosophy the most, Mark. How is this team going to be put together? And I think the commitment at Michigan is to take, what they saw from champs. Okay, what Georgia has done the last 2 years is they're big, they're strong, they're tough. Okay, we get that. Okay, and they're dynamic on defense. But Kirby made a change. He started out playing smash mouth football, and we were going to out tough, impose our will type football on people. And it got him to be, within a 2nd and 26 throw, winning a national championship. But he subtly changed and tried to become more balanced, that he was going to make teams defend both sides of the football, running and passing. And I think Michigan had been that way with Hart and Jimmy for a while. And I think they're going to take the next step this year. They're committed no matter what, no matter how they can do it. Back in the day in the 70s when Michigan and Ohio State were, just destroying everybody in the Big Ten with superior talent, they ran the ball no matter what. And then they, pound each other in a fist fight on, Michigan, Ohio State last game of the year. But then they'd get into the bowl games and, they weren't ready for the passing game. I think Michigan has now said, we need to be better in our passing game. And that's how I judge when I watch Ohio State. What are they going to be? You're not judging them in that game. You're judging them on what they're going to be at the end of the season. So that's first look at those guys. But it was, when I first heard we were going to be doing this game, they go, that's, you guys know more people on Michigan. I know the same as you. I know 3 guys, the 2 running backs and the quarterback. And it's a lot of work to get ready for those games if you're going to do a decent job at it. But it really was fun to go back and do the games. It was a tremendous setting to go back, up to the Midwest, do a kind of a fall game. It felt like that, 70 degrees, 68 degrees. It felt like the fall afternoon. Saw a lot of people, brought back tremendous memories of, people who, like Bo being at those games. Bo recruited me, just being back in that stadium, seeing Brandstatter. It's been a good deal. It's been a great deal for me.
And next year, CBS begins covering the Big Ten full time. They still do the SEC full time and will do so beginning this week with Georgia hosting South Carolina.
I am beginning to wobble on my no momentum stuff. When I came into the SEC, I'm beginning to wobble. I got to admit, when I came into the SEC, they reeled off 8 straight national championships, 13 out of 17. And now I move out this year and, whoa, look at the SEC West so far here. I mean, the 3, I think the momentum is shifting here. Should I say,
really? Is this Danielson momentum? Is this what you're quoting?
Momentum is shifting. I don't want to say anything, but the bell cow of college football, LSU, A&M, and Alabama have, it's a little different. Let's put it that way.
Well, what'd you make of Saturday night, Texas beating Alabama and the way in which they beat them?
I have to admit, I had felt a little bad for Jalen Milroe. I really do. I mean, he's not in the spot that these Alabama quarterbacks have been in. Now, it's a long season, and Nick is as good as anybody, and nobody pretends that the first game of the year is anything but the first game of the year. That's what it is. You start from there, and, both teams are going to get better. Both teams are going to have injuries. We've got a long way to go. But, I looked at Jalen Milroe in that game. There was no, Lane calling plays, no Sark calling plays for Alabama, no Bill Bryan, no Brian Dable. Tommy Rees is a young coach in a big job. But also Blake Sims had Derrick Henry, Calvin Ridley, Eddie Jackson, Reuben Foster, Kenyon Drakes, Marlon Humphrey, Micah Fitzpatrick, Damian Harris, Ryan Kelly on offensive line, Ashawn Robinson on defensive line, Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne. He is not loaded with that kind of NFL talent around him. admittedly, he's a different quarterback, but so was Blake Sims, and they figured out a way to do it. The fact that Alabama running backs, and they wanted to emphasize this year, ran the ball against Texas, the running backs 20 times for 63 yards. It's not all Jalen Noah.
Is there a talent void right now? I mean, they're the number one recruiting team every year, Gary, but with the way you're talking, it seems as if you think there might be a little gap in talent of what's been there before.
I'm ready to watch. I don't judge. I don't follow the. I understand acquiring talent is a big deal. You know, I mean, I played against it when I played against more talented teams, and when I was in the NFL, and I in college football, I can see when one team's more talented, but it's got to emerge. You know, I mean, Texas's defensive line controlled the football game. Alabama's defensive line and the addition of blitzes pressured Quinn Ewers 6 times in the game. I don't know if they had a sack. I don't believe they had a sack in the game against the passing team. So the whole squad, everything involved of Alabama, have to prove themselves. I'm sure they're talented. I know who they recruit, but can they produce on the field? That's how we judge it.
And Nick doesn't usually have this challenging of an opponent this early in the season, and almost bit him last year, and it did come back to bite him this year. Your thoughts, having been in and around the sport for a long time, about Coach Prime and what's happening in Colorado, a place where you go back, you broadcast them when they shared a national title, when they should have played for a national title 20 years ago. You remember Colorado when they were in the top 5.
Totally. I was there when they routed Nebraska, scoring 60 points. My high school offensive coordinator, Bill McCartney, and then he was the future head coach at Devon Child, and then he went to be the defensive coordinator at Michigan. He took that morbid program, circled Nebraska as the bully on the block, and said, we're going to beat Nebraska, even though he had no players, built that program. You're right. They were there, and they've slipped, and you've got to give, sometimes I hate these nicknames, but I mean, Deion Sanders has made a career out of Prime. That's who he is. That's his ultra ego. And I have no trepidation by calling him Coach Prime. He uses it. He motivates with it. He challenges everyone, and he's comfortable with who he is. He doesn't care about what the norms are. If people don't like it, too bad. I admire that. And I don't know how many games they're going to win, but it looks like a fun place to play. It looks like a challenging place to play, that you have to, pull your weight every day. You have to play at a certain level. And, what he's doing is remarkable. I mean, just remarkable. And, I think one thing about college football, it tends to trend in the head coaching position a little too white. I think this will be great for more African-American assistant coaches and ex-NFL players to get a shot. And I think it's great all the way around.
He's Gary Danielson. He's back in the SEC this weekend with South Carolina and Georgia, and he was kind enough to join us. Gary, safe travels. I'll see you on Saturday.
My pleasure. Say hi to Troy for me. He might remember me, but I don't think so.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
It was my second time in the big house. It was my first time working a game. Yes. Yeah. If Gary is there and Troy's there, unless my daughter's getting married or I'm sick, I'm there.
It's small for 100,000 though, right? I mean, like when you walk up, it doesn't seem like there's going to be 100,000 in there, right?
Well, no,
So you've been before, so you knew.
Yeah, but I love the places like when you walk in the Rose Bowl, you're a third of the way up the stands. When you walk in at SoFi, you feel like you're 50, 60% up. I love the fact that you walk up to it and you're like, there's 110,000 people inside there?
Right.
Okay, and then you walk in and you're already halfway up and you go, "Oh, I see what they did. This is cool." And Mark had always told me, Mark goes, "It's the quietest, biggest place you'll ever be in your life." And it's got a little bit of atmosphere now because the team's really good and they're all excited. And so, and even against UNLV, there were not a ton of empty seats. I mean, they announced 109 and change, but I will say the students were out and they were festive. And
well, I do think the way they've redone it with the suites has closed it in and
made it a little
noisier.
When I saw it, I thought of a big Lambeau. Lambeau's a little more closed in, only on the ends. It's higher on the ends. The big house kind of bowls out a little bit. They've really gone straight up all around at Lambeau. But yes. Rudy, yeah.
Yes.
Mel Tucker's done everywhere. I don't even think Nick can hire him in a year as an intern. And I'm not joking. I don't know if Mel Tucker will ever have anything to do with a football again at any level. I have no idea what he's going to do for the rest of his life. I think he's going to hope Michigan State gives him a buyout and doesn't just try to not pay him a dime, because I don't know how he's going to earn money outside of getting a real job. KW, there was so much excitement, hype, hope around New York football because the Mets and Yankees have disappointed so much this year. And so they turned to football a lot harder, a lot earlier than they normally do. I mean, think about it. The Mets won 101 games last year and the Yankees won 99. You know, they didn't start paying attention to the NFL last year till like week 7 because New York's a baseball, basketball city. But they are all in on the Giants and the Jets. And the Giants, holy crap. I will say, though, who do they get this week? Don't the Giants get, is it Arizona or somebody like that? And they're like a road favorite, I think.
Cardinals.
Yeah.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour, top of the morning to you on this September 11th. Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. I'm across the Hudson from Lower Manhattan in Jersey City, getting ready for Monday Night Football tonight. A game that I think a lot of people are struggling to make a pick on. At least, Mark, that's the Twitch chat room. People don't know which. I mean, they have their biases. I hate Aaron Rodgers. I'm so excited for the Jets. But in terms of just picking the game, I mean, there's a reason Buffalo's favored by just 2. I mean, this one feels like you have no idea which way it's going to go.
I feel good that I got it at 2.5. Every little bit helps, David.
Got that right. It's kind of like when I took UCF and laid the 3.5. I didn't think they'd win and not cover, but they won and they didn't cover. Hey, at least they got out of there with a W.
Yeah, you know, their first 3 drives, they drive it down into the red zone, turn it over 2 of the 3 drives, get a field goal on the other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very sloppy in the game, moved the ball seemingly at will, but then turned it over too much.
And then they were
Settled for
losing
field goals.
Yep. Losing late, lucky to win. Guy kicks a 84-yard field goal to win the game. Okay, it wasn't that long, but it was like 55, wasn't it? I mean, didn't he hit a bomb to win the game for UCF? Thought it was pretty long.
I didn't think it was that long.
Okay. Maybe. But it was late. Maybe I'm a little delirious, I guess.
But regardless, it was, you know, it's nice to see UCF win a game when they don't play their best football.
Right.
There's just a 40-yarder at the end of the game.
How much?
40.
Okay. My bad. So I was tired, as you could tell. I was dragging. I was emotionally invested, though. It was a great, great, great weekend for Florida football. All 3 NFL teams went on the road and won. Wait, hold on. Tua just hit Tyreek Hill again while we were talking. And heck, all the big programs in the state of Florida won in college too. Now, you know, only one of them 2 of them were tested, UCF at Boise. And how about them Canes, huh?
How about the Miami Hurricanes offensive line? That big A&M defense that I personally thought would be the difference in the game. I thought that Miami's offensive line wasn't ready yet. I thought they were a year behind where A&M was with the standpoint of where their defensive line was and the size on that line. Miami did a tremendous job. Van Dyke had all kinds of time to throw, did a really good job moving the ball around. That was an impressive win for the Miami Hurricanes. Really impressive win.
So to review, A&M favored on the road at Miami. How'd they do?
They lost.
LSU favored, neutral field, so to speak, against Florida State. How'd they do?
They lost.
Alabama favored by a full touchdown at home against Texas, who hasn't won a big game in 14 years. How'd they do?
That would be a loss.
Huh. Wow. Good thing Ole Miss beat Tulane's backup quarterback.
Because South Carolina got whooped the hands of North Carolina the week before.
And that was a toss-up game. North Carolina was favored by like 2.5. Right? It gave up 9 sacks. Yeah.
So right now, your big win for the SEC is an Ole Miss road win against Tulane with their backup quarterback.
Right. And let me tell you, they hid that all week, right? They waited till Miller and Moulton both took Tulane in 7.5. And then, oh, by the way, they divulged that their starting quarterback's a game-time decision. Really? Nobody had that all week. No mention of him being banged up and unable to play. And by Saturday morning, he wasn't playing. And Miller and Moulton both knew Tulane was cooked. It's bad enough we both picked them. And now they're playing with a backup quarterback? Great. I was wondering what Dolphins garb Felipe was going to be wearing today. And he's got a Tua jersey on.
Spending his hard-earned cash on a jersey.
Listen, well, first off, he's 23. He qualifies. I mean, he does. We cannot give him a hard time.
No. I just said he spent his hard-earned cash. Those things cost money.
Yeah, he's got 2 jobs. He can afford it. He hasn't visited Todd and Jason yet. He hasn't bought any hardware. Okay, so he can spend it on a jersey.
Most of my life it's been the Chad Henneys, the Chad Penningtons, the Ryan Tannehills. This is the first time that I can say proudly, this is my quarterback. Tua is my quarterback, and he will lead the Dolphins to the promised land.
Tell you what, Mark, I got a little TO there. All I'm waiting for is a little emotion. Okay,
yeah.
Get the popcorn ready.
Mm-hmm. What do you got for us today, Felipe, as if we didn't know?
Well, I mean, you could have guessed it. Dolphins down 4, fourth quarter, less than 2 minutes left. Tua dialing it up in the corner in the end zone to Tyreek Hill.
Flips it to the corner, and it's caught! Tyreek Hill, touchdown! Who else can you beat in a game? My gosh. Tyreek Hill, again. What a throw. What a throw by Tua.
Chargers get it back. Trying to make something happen. All they need is a field goal.
4th down, 13. Dolphins up by 2. The Chargers have the football deep in their own territory. They got a big coming. They got him again.
Dolphins sack Herbert. Bring them down. They go 4 and out. Secure the win.
Appreciate it if you kept my name out your mouth.
Tyreek Hill had this to say after the game about Tua Tagovailoa.
Bro, Tua's a baller, bro. I've been saying this since last year. I've been an advocate, for him. And he definitely showed it today.
He's a baller. And he showed it. Only 2 quarterbacks in Dolphins history have had multiple games of 450 passing yards. Tua Tagovailoa and Dan Marino. He constantly seems to be putting himself in Dan Marino conversations.
Take it.
I'm not
easy.
saying I'm not
Take it. You were doing great. 4 bits of sound in the play of the day. All right. All off the radio too, none off the TV. Post-game sound. You were crushing it. Okay. And then you gave a fact. And there's nothing we can do about the fact. He's one of only 2 Dolphin quarterbacks, 450 plus twice. And then you went off the end of the diving board.
I'm saying for Dolphins history, not NFL history. Come on now.
Come on now. Deep breath. Deep breath. Deep breath. In. Out.
I'd appreciate it if you kept my name out your mouth.
That's actually Dan Marino saying that about Tua, but that's a whole other story. I'm excited though for you. There's a whole generation of Dolphin fan who's thinking the same thing. Maybe, just maybe, we got ourselves a quarterback. Yeah.
And I think they're all nervous as hell because of the injuries.
That's okay.
I think that Dolphin is just like, stay upright, man.
Yep.
Stay upright. Don't give me this comparison stuff. I'm not worried about comparisons right now. What I want is upright.
Yep. What did we say? Key stat of the year for the Dolphins, over under 14.5 starts. That was the big number for the Dolphins. Forget everything else. Tua going to start 15 or more games.
I will fall to my knees every time Tua is sacked this year.
You and Mike McDaniel, a few 100,000 other people.
It's the jujitsu class, David. Come on now.
Right.
He knows how to fall properly.
Yeah, of course he wasn't sacked yesterday, so he didn't
It
need
was
to
helpful.
That sure helped.
Yep.
The best way to not fall is to not get hit.
Yep.
Get rid of the ball quickly.
Yep. Listen, I will say, if the Dolphins are going to play 7-on-7 all year, they're a very dangerous team. They do look like a team. 7-on-7 shorts, T-shirts. They look like they could be a problem.
An unbelievable problem for
Right.
everybody in the league. You let them run around like that. That's our play of the day. Chris Landry in 30 minutes right here on the Florida Sports Network.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
I'll tell you what the Dolphins did not do is stop the run. I mean, the gates were open for Austin Eckler. Granted, blocking helps, but man.
No, he's not Seminoles, and that's why we said take a deep breath. Love the excitement, though. God, it would be so great for us. You guys have no idea. Miller and Moulton have seemingly been doing a show for 43 years. It's been a long, tough ride for the two of us. 3 different acts. It's just we have not had the support that we should have most of the time. It's been tough. Okay. And there are not many things that we wish for, but we have wished for a really good Dolphins team once. We would just like to know what it's like to do a show when they're really good. Not when they're having a magic carpet type year under Tony Sperano and we all knew it and we're like, well, they're way over their skis. I'm talking about like they can line up against anybody and beat them. Because, I mean, would it really shock you if they go to New England and lose? Wouldn't me. Patriots just held the Eagles to 250 yards. He can coach, you know. It's a road division game.
December 24th is circled on my calendar as like one of, if not the game of the year against the Cowboys.
It's largely meaningless because it's not in the conference.
I mean, I feel like both teams will be fighting for the top spot of each of their division respectively at the time.
I hope you're right. I hope it is Burkhart and Olsen. Absolutely. In fact, I hope it gets flexed.
If 425 on Fox, I think it might stay right there, honestly.
Well, NBC gets a say. Okay. But I hope
that's got the makings of a classic right there.
Take it easy. It's 3 long months from now.
I know. But I'm just so excited for this year.
Canes are going to be
5-0. You make me hope the Dolphins lose every game they
play. Come on.
I've never had anything with the Dolphins.
Every game they play.
Gosh.
They've just surpassed the Jets. Go Aaron Rodgers.
Boy.
Yeah, I know you don't mean that.
Oh, I do.
I know you don't.
Somebody peed in your Lucky Charms this morning. What the heck?
Real. Jeez.
Come on. Have a heart. What if the Jets win and cover tonight?
That would be great. Then I go 3-2 for the week. That's all I want.
There you go. That's it. So it's been reduced to, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the top of the hour. Chris Landry will join us then. Talk all kinds of football. Although his designated role on the show is to recap the Bucs, the Dolphins, and the Jags. Well, they all won on the road. So we may talk about a few other things as well. Troy Aikman will join us at the top of the 9 o'clock hour. We know for 3 of the 4 stations that we're on, you don't get us at 9 o'clock. So you need to, floridasportsnetwork.com or what it's the,
you can go to twitch.tv. You can go to our YouTube channel, which is Miller and Moulton.
There you go. Take us in, Troy Aikman to join us in about an hour and 20 minutes. There's a dynamic that took place during the commercial break. And I don't know if it's happening in offices all around the state, because there are a lot of Dolphin fans who have had to keep it all on the inside because, let's face it, the team has just toyed with them for a really long time. And they have not unabashedly let it out because they've never had confidence in their team and their quarterback to do so. Maybe, just maybe, at a few places around the state, what's happening behind the scenes on our show may be happening in some office places around the state. Because Felipe has decided this is now the quarterback and this is now the team that he is going to just let it all rip with.
Not last year.
Nope.
Not last week.
No. But
Not
now
Saturday. But now that they beat the LA Chargers, he comes in his Tua jersey and making Marino comparisons.
Right.
Already circling games in late December.
Right.
Not even getting to week 2. It is an overreaction Monday, unlike any overreaction Monday that I've ever seen.
It's destiny, really. And I'm making statistical Marino comparisons, I'd like to say.
He's ripped the Band-Aid off, taken the scab with him. All right. Mark, he's the guy who's so excited he jumped out of the airplane and forgot his parachute. I mean, that's what we're dealing with behind the scenes today, ladies and gentlemen. Felipe is falling from 15,000 feet out of an airplane, and somehow, some way, one of us is holding his parachute going, I'm right behind you. Here, you need this. And he's like, no, I don't. No, I don't.
No, he believes he can fly, David.
Yep. Absolutely. This is the quarterback. This is the team. Even when they were 8-3 last year, he was still holding it back. They had won 5 in a row. They were 8-3. There was still Felipe who was like, I don't know. Is there the Dolphins? And okay, Tua's already gotten hurt twice. He was reserved. No, not now. And I'm just wondering, is that happening around the state? Even Jags fan, they go to a place they never win, Indianapolis. Yeah, sure, they were supposed to win. What were they doing with 6 minutes to go? They were losing. Okay, what'd they do? They won? So, the Tampa Bay Bucks supposed to be awful this year. Top 5 pick of the draft. What'd they do? They went on the road, beat a team that won 13 games last year. I'm just wondering, what's it like going to be around the offices today? FSU fan, honestly, they haven't been this happy in 10 years.
No, they haven't. They really have not.
Canes fan, they beat A&M. Apparently, about 173 of you actually showed up for the game. But still, they
you'll
won.
all be back for the Georgia Tech game because you got a free ticket for that one.
Right? So, hey, you're ranked. Now there's a second team in the state that's ranked. Hell, even UCF went on the road, beat Boise. It doesn't matter. Style points, they got a -4. Doesn't matter. They won. They're going to be 3-0 heading into the Big 12, just like Colorado. We don't really know how good Colorado is. They're going to be 3-0.
It might just be the year of Florida sports, period. The South Florida, boom seems to be affecting all of Florida.
See?
Coco Gauff won the U.S. Open. The
Right.
19-year-old from Delray Beach, Florida. Thank you very much.
See?
Florida. Sports.
South Florida. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. That's what we said from March to Labor Day. We said, this is Florida thing. You gotta honor it, gotta respect it, gotta pay attention to it. It's still, gotta admit, Mark, I am pretty excited. Look at the AP poll. Florida State, Texas, and USC. Huh? The schools who have disappointed lately, step it up. All with big wins this year. Okay, what do we got going on in the NFL? Only 5 home teams won. All right, hell, Seattle couldn't even beat the Rams. All right, we got Tua looking like no, I'm not going to say it.
Don't you dare.
Looking like who?
looking like
looking like he's a really good quarterback.
Right. Yeah.
Tua, when healthy, is a good quarterback. What we have said now since he's come into the league.
Right. Yep. Sorry, Miller Moulton, we're right. We were about this one. We're right. He can play. That's what we said. We said he was a good quarterback. He could play. And when you have a Tyreek Hill, it helps. It helps a lot. It helped a lot. Do you think it helped the guy in Kansas City? No, he did it all on his own, right? But Tua, he's nothing without Tyreek Hill. Okay, I got it. We got it. Okay, that's fine. Don't admit when you're wrong. We have to 47 times the show. Hey, you can't do it once, even anonymously. Okay, that's fine. We got it. I mean, don't make us sound like Dion and his kid. I don't want to say we're taking receipts because, man, I hate that already. For as sick and tired as you are of all the Jets hype, and it is funny you're on the Jets tonight, considering how sick and tired you are of the Jets, but you need them one time, right?
Don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. David, I told you I was going to bet against Northwestern. I looked at the line and said, I'm not betting against Northwestern if they're getting points against UTEP.
Mark's now rooting the Jets go 1-16. He just needs the one to beat tonight.
I picked the Jets to go to the playoffs.
I know.
I can look at something with logic and still want it to go the other way.
But have to admit, I know it's very early. I mean, it's only September 11th, for goodness sakes, but this has already been a tremendous start to the two football seasons. I mean, seriously, we've had big wins, not the teams that we all expected to win some of the early season games in college football, and we've already had a hell of a week one in the NFL.
Well, if the Jets win tonight, David, just think about this for a second. That means that the Bengals, the Chiefs, and the Bills will have all gone down week one.
Yeah! That's what we're talking about in the AFC, where every win is really difficult. And you cherish them like Christmas gifts. And you just hope to get 10 or 11 of them by the end of the year. You make it to that tournament. Anybody who makes it can win it. Yeah.
And it was a tremendously goofy week one. Road teams taking care of business. What was the number?
Road teams are 10-5 straight up, and I believe they're 12-3 against the number. If you took the road team and the points, aren't you 12-3 so far?
Right. Baltimore and Atlanta. Those are your home teams that won and covered.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's been a crazy week. Fun though. Fun when the Miller and Moulton, by the way, both 11-4 picking winners this week for what it's worth. And we disagreed on 4 games and we split them. And now we disagreed on the Monday nighter. Mark's got the Jets, I got the Bills. So we'll see. Hope it's a good one, obviously. And not just for selfish reasons, because, I'm going to be at it. You'd much rather work a good game than a bad game. But just, want the week to end and all have us, just feel good. Heading into Tuesday, hey, it was a good, fun game. We're staying up for, blah, blah, blah. We all know the storylines, win or lose for each team. The remarkable thing, by the way, next week's schedule, to look ahead very quickly, it does not matter who wins the game tonight. There will only be 3 games next week in which undefeated teams will be facing each other. Green Bay's at Atlanta. The Niners are at the Rams. And either team wins tonight. Buffalo's hosting Vegas. The Jets are at Dallas. Only 3 battles of 1-0 teams on the week 2 schedule. Boy, that's crazy how that worked out.
Get that champagne out early this year.
That's crazy. So there you have it. Mark's 2-2 on his picks against the number. He's got the Jets in 2.5 tonight. And I went 2-4, which don't mock it. It's an improvement over the week before, which was 2-5. Come on now. I mean, I figure by Columbus Day, I'll have a break-even week.
I love the optimism.
Yep.
And Lee's 3-1.
Yeah. Lee's 3-1
tonight.
And he's riding Mark's Jets.
Right. He missed his game of the week for what it's worth, but he hit his monster bet, had a 45-unit play, and it was a parlay, and he hit it.
And we've been with Lee almost 20 years. He's never had a parlay as a big money play. And he had one in week 2, week 1 of the NFL, and he hit it. So he's 1-0 on that. And he documents those picks also. He's over 80% on his 40, 45, and 50 unit plays over the years. So that's why we have him on the show. I mean, listen, we have to have somebody to offset our picks, right?
Kind of the way this has worked lately.
Right. So before we bring Chris Landry on at the top of the hour, Troy Aikman, by the way, top of the 9 o'clock hour. I'm also now, now do we start to ride this and go, hey, the Gators are going to have an uprising this week against Tennessee? I mean, I'm just wondering, can you lose in Florida now? How big is this wave, Mark? We got that Category 5 out in the Atlantic going to produce big waves. How big is this wave that we're riding?
Well, given the fact that the Gators have already lost one this year, I don't know how much you want to jump on a wave that has the Gators on it right now.
I know. It's kind of like jumping on a Patriots wave right now. It's really tough to. I mean, how many times can you bring Tom Brady into the house? I love the fact they brought him in the house to announce next year we're going to put him in our Hall of Fame. He has to wait. He doesn't get to go in immediately. He has to wait a year. I mean, what? He wants to see the fall foliage in you do know he's going to be working next year, right?
Right.
I mean, it's what he says. Says he's going to be doing games on Fox.
As the owner of the Las Vegas Raiders.
Well, there is that. There is that. So apparently everybody's overlooking all this. Okay, when it concerns Brady. So
that was the first week 1 Sunday of my life without Tom Brady.
You and quite a few others, by the way. Last time we had a Sunday without Tom Brady.
And you know what? It felt good. It felt like a new era of the NFL.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's wearing his Tua jersey. All right, it should
He
be
slept
pointed out.
in it last night. There's not a doubt in my mind.
To quantify my happiness, Daniel Jones was my starting quarterback in one of my fantasy leagues, and I don't care. I don't know why, because it's fantasy.
And you know what?
It's not real.
Nobody else does either.
I have to admit, Felipe, who's your other quarterback on the team if you started Daniel Jones on your fantasy team? I mean, is it Ritter? I mean, honestly. Wow. You started Daniel Jones against the Cowboys? I don't even play fantasy. And anyway, your real team won. Hell with fantasy.
Exactly. That's all that. It's hell with fantasy. Who cares? It's called fantasy for a reason.
And there's nobody that cares about anybody else's fantasy football team.
I know.
Don't you feel the high? Bucks won, Jags won, Finns won, all on the road. Can't you just feel it? Florida State's number 3 in the AP poll.
The Canes are ranked again.
The Canes are ranked. Boy, a lot of pressure on Billy Napier and the Gators, man.
There really is.
Every fan in the state's going to be in a good mood. They don't beat Tennessee. Oh, man. Oh, Lee. They'll start talking about him the way they're talking about Jimbo Fisher in College Station.
Borrowed time for Jimbo already.
Oh, I thought you were talking about borrowing money for his buyout. It's $77 million, by the way.
They may have to call their friends at SMU and see if they can get a loan, David, because, when you really need money in Texas, apparently where you go is SMU.
Come on. You think those rich oil guys at A&M are going to call anybody? That'd be an insult to their ego. Can't believe they think we can't come up with $77 million. Hell, we could do that before this lunch is over.
They may have to.
Yes, they may.
They may have to, because that was not a good loss. A great game by Miami. Give them all the credit in the world.
Yep.
But that vaunted defensive line for A&M didn't do a damn thing. And Miami blocked them the whole game. Van Dyke was great. It was a huge win for Miami. But if you were sitting in College Station right now, think about how big of a loss that would be. Every bit as equal. Chris Landry to break down all of the Florida big NFL wins. That's next right here. Miller and Moulton. Thanks for listening. Florida Sports Network.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Visit Jason and Todd, Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. Good morning, Chris. Uh-oh, can't hear you. That's not good. We may have to call Chris because I don't know why, but I cannot hear him right now. David.
How about now?
There you go.
Yeah, we got you, Chris.
Got you now.
Okay.
Well, that was a pretty good weekend to start football with. A little Bama going down, little A&M going down.
Yeah, it was. It's been a crazy couple of weeks in college already.
It really has.
Good morning.
Morning, David. How are you?
I'm good, Chris. How you been?
Good, man. How you guys been?
We're fired up. We think it's been a exciting start to both football seasons.
It has been. They go by fast. I tell you. It's. I was talking coach the other day. What's a coach at Notre Dame? Do you realize that they've already played like a team that played week 0 have already played a quarter of their regular season, which is really nuts to think about it that way. But yeah, it's off to an interesting start in college, and I thought yesterday was real interesting too. It was I don't know about 4 weeks in about some of these teams, but some sloppy play yesterday, and no doubt.
Well, I mean, we don't play anyone in the preseason. I mean, even the Eagles coach after the game said, I may have to rethink how we do preseason because me not playing anybody, I think, contributed to us playing so poorly against the Patriots.
It happens every year. It's happened every year since we cut a preseason game, and I know nobody likes it, but from a coaching standpoint, you're not going to be ready, and it's just a matter of the first 4 games. You're trying to just win a game and trying to use that as a form of getting ready. Which you go 1-3, you're gonna really be behind the 8 ball, and yet you get people injured, they're gonna criticize you in preseason, but you got to get ready, man. You just don't turn on a switch.
Did you study Bama, Texas?
I've looked at yesterday morning a good bit of the tape. Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously I hadn't had a chance to break down the NFL tape yet, but obviously I watch all the games. So, but yeah, no, I was a lot of people probably surprised, but Texas is really good, and Alabama's really got some issues right now. So
here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the third and final hour of Miller and Moulton on this Monday, September 11th. The bonus hour will start 1 hour from now with Troy Aikman. Follow us on the Miller and Moulton Twitch channel, Facebook, YouTube TV, FloridaSportsNetwork.com. Take in the show if you don't normally get it along the network in Lake City, Tampa, St. Pete, and Port Charlotte and Venice. Chris Landry will be joining us at this day and time throughout the football season. He of LandryFootball.com, LandryFootball.com, former NFL and college coach, scout administrator. He is a paid consultant to many a college and pro sports team for his football knowledge, and you can follow him on X at Landry Football. That's Landry Football. Chris, top of the morning to you. How are you?
I'm doing good, guys. Good to be with you again.
Well, first off, I know we are bringing you on to talk Bucks, Dolphins, and Jags most weeks, but you go college and then you go pro when you're breaking down tape. Is there anything that you saw? The big headline college game was Alabama, Texas, right? Is there anything in the tape that truly shows more than the final score that Texas is back and that Alabama may not be Alabama?
Well, Texas has been building a really good roster. The quarterback's playing well. They've got really good receivers. Their defense is pretty salty. I think the issue with Texas and the whole danger of are they back, it's just about consistency with them. And, they played Alabama very well last year. Quinn Ewers doesn't get hurt. Who knows what happens in the game, but that's football. The issue with Texas is, do they stub their toe? Can they handle success, prosperity, as they like to say? Can you handle that? They've got some landmines in their schedule that can jump up and beat them. Now, if Texas plays their best, they're gonna go through this schedule pretty easily, I would think. But that's the key: is to be a championship level team. You've got to handle. I put them and Florida State in the same category. They're really good. Both of those teams, they're capable of making the playoffs. But what's going to prevent them, if something does prevent them, is themselves. Depth, significant injuries at certain spots could hinder them. And certainly just that moment in which they play very poorly, uninspired, because it's not as big of a game, air quotes here, as an LSU or an Alabama for those teams. So Texas is really good. Alabama, look, they're trying to transform what they're trying to do. They've gotten only so far with becoming a spread team, and they've become, we need to be more physical. We need to be more line of scrimmage based, because that's where Georgia has overtaken them as a program. So they are more physical. They're going to run the football. Alabama's going to win a lot of games. They may 10-2. I mean, I don't think this team's gone 8-4 like people are predicting the sky is falling. But to win the biggest games, which is what their standard is, you have to have balance, guys. You have to be able to throw it and run it. And in recent years, they've been unable to establish things at the line of scrimmage as well as need to be to win a championship. And now they're not good enough passing the football. This was with Milroe, their plan was we're going to run the football, employ the quarterback in the run game. And, but he's a one-read guy. And so he's going to have to get appreciably better. Ty Simpson is a better passer, but doesn't see the offense any better than Milroe, doesn't read defenses, and doesn't see the field quite as well, and can't run the football. So they've got a quarterback issue, and I think they missed because they didn't do a good job of identifying the right guy in the transfer portal, because Tyler Buckner is more, I may have to go to him, but he's not the answer for them to win at the highest level.
All right, let's switch to Sundays. The Jags get the win, but to me, I took out of that game, I'm not a Richardson guy. I didn't think he had the makeup to be a good NFL quarterback. One game in, he looked better than advertised, maybe better than we saw him all last year at Florida.
Yeah, you got to remember, Shane Steichen's coaching him. He's the guy that's worked with Jalen Hurts, and they're not going to run a traditional offense. They're going to run a lot of RPO-based stuff. They're going to utilize his athleticism. People defensively are going to challenge his passing skills. And so what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to force numbers into the box, force you into man coverage. So he's got some opportunities to make some plays on the move as both the passer as a runner. It'll be tougher and tougher for him as people figure out how they want to play him defensively. But he's a very physically gifted guy. I've said this, and I said this prior to the draft, and I'll say this now. This guy's got more physical gifts than Cam Newton. Now, whether he can be developed as a passer, Cam was never a great passer. But I think he was probably a little bit better, certainly in the early part of his career, than Anthony is at this point. But Anthony has less starts under his belt. We're going to see what Shane does with him. I think he's going to be an intriguing watch all year long, and I thought he played well. I thought they had a good game plan, and I'm not quite sure that Jacksonville figured out initially how to play it, and they needed to rally to win this game, as you guys know, as the offense had to pull them out.
This whole athletic quarterback thing is, like Josh Allen runs a lot. He's never gotten hurt running. When Lamar's gotten hurt, he hasn't gotten hurt running. He's actually been hurt twice in the pocket. Richardson got hurt twice yesterday. He said he hurt his knee in the first quarter, and then he took that hit with a minute to go, and it knocked him out the rest of the game. I mean, so think about that. Okay, he got hurt twice in his first game. I mean, this is such a volatile offense to run, but it's also so dangerous for a defense if they can pull it off.
Yeah, I think first of all, for a quarterback, and with so much pressure on Richardson having to rely on his athleticism, there's going to be a lot of internal pressure to say, I got to make it happen in the run game. So not going to slide, and I think they're going to have to ingrain in them, look, you're going to do no good for yourself or us if you take these hits. So you're going to have to improve your vision, and you're going to have to run, but protect yourself. And I think that's what the mobile quarterbacks do. Now, Lamar does a pretty good job of that and makes people miss, but this guy's big, this guy is physical, and this guy, I think, feels like he needs to challenge guys, and he's going to learn that you got to live for another play. But the reality is he's not good enough to beat anybody consistently as a passer at this point. So that's going to take a little time to figure it out, how they're going to want to play it. Defensively, again, teams are going to do a really good job of eventually of trying to hem him in, take away the escape lanes, and then you go beat us from the pocket. And if you have to commit more guys, if they can run the football well and they, again, get in man coverage, then there'll be some opportunities, some spacing and coverage for him to make plays. But throwing into tight windows is not something you want to do with him at this point.
Look at the Dolphins, I think, may have just thrown for another long score. Tyreek Hill's special. But what is it about Tua that impresses you even with having Tyreek Hill out there?
Well, the guy is so accurate. I mean, even when he rolls out, he can put the ball in spots. And let's call it like it is. He did not grade out very well early. I mean, a couple of center snap exchanges. He had really some bad reads in the first quarter and a red zone pick. I mean, the storyline would be, there Tua is, he made mistakes and he turned the football over. That's the storyline if they don't win this game. But the comeback was impressive. I think you can't separate how he played without saying Tyreek Hill is just phenomenal. He took that game over. He was the MVP. Tua threw some dimes in this game, but Tyreek getting people beat. And let's give some credit because I don't think the defenses they were playing in a chase position all game. But at the end, in a game in which it was whoever gets the ball last is probably going to win this game, Vic's defense did not bring much blitz as he does it most of the time, came up with a high-pressure package late to salt the game away. So that kind of is what finished the game, but Tua's just so accurate. Putting the ball in spots is going to be key. It's just, cross fingers, as everyone does, is let's hope this kid can stay healthy because this offense is going to be special along the lines of what Kansas City was with Tyreek Hill. And Kansas City, to some degree, still is when they've got all hands on deck. But he can absolutely terrorize your ability and force you to play two deep safeties. And that's going to allow so many things underneath to open up because he's a one-man field stretcher.
Lost in the win is the fact that the Dolphins' run defense gave up over 200 yards. It's not often that a team throws for 250 and runs for over 200 and loses. But once again, nobody can turn, victory into defeat quite like the LA Chargers.
Nobody does it. You're right.
Hey, Baker Mayfield and the Bucks. You don't have to be pretty like Tua and the Dolphins were. Okay, you can get to 1-0. Doing it a certain way. And don't you think that that's how Todd Bowles wants to play?
Yeah, there's no ugly wins. You take them, but sometimes you play ugly and still win, and that was the case. I was probably least impressed by the performance of both of these two teams as well. There was some worse performances in the league, but both teams just not playing well. Vikings were awful. I thought the second half was better for the Bucks. I mean, obviously, off the first half, it was only likely going to be better. But I worry about their protection. That's going to be a problem. That combination of protection issues and Baker Mayfield is going to lead to a ton of mistakes. It's a win. That's about all I can say. I thought the Vikings were self-destructed in a lot of ways too. So, I would say, and again, I hadn't been able to get through the tape yet, but on first view, the Bucs were the least impressive team of the NFC South, even though they got a win. Even worse looking than Carolina, who I think has some positives. I worry about the Bucs. I just don't know that this team's going to be very good, and hopefully for their sake, I'm wrong.
All right, we have 20 seconds. If you're the Chiefs, do you think you need a wide receiver or do you just need Kelsey healthy? Because Mike Evans is available. There could be others who come available. 20 seconds. Do the Chiefs need to get a wide receiver?
No, I think they're going to be good with those young guys are going to be better as the year goes along. And then Kelsey's certainly going to help. I think they'll explore it, but I don't know that they need it. I think they'll be fine eventually.
He's Chris Landry, LandryFootball.com, LandryFootball.com. He is who major college and NFL teams turn to for scouting breakdowns and information, and you can follow him on X at Landry Football. Chris, as always, thanks for your time. All the best. We'll do it next week.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Have a great one.
Chris Landry. Join us every Monday at this time on Miller and Moulton.
Looks like he's in his war room.
I know. It's not even well lit.
He's just ready to turn. All the shades are drawn. There's one light on. Miller and Moulton. Troy Aikman in 45 minutes right here on the Florida Sports Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again.
Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here.
Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686.
or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Dockett just referring to Mel Tucker as Mel Tugger.
Snap.
Uh-huh.
Can do that when you're on Outkick. Adam, hold on. I'm not sure actually. No, they're almost like silver. They're like a dark brown, a shiny dark brown. No, Troy is not leaving his suite to come pull up a chair next to me and go,
Hey, guys,
Moulton,
how you doing?
How you doing? Just wanted to see what the setup is like. Logic Man, that New England deserves a lot of credit. They do that to you. Only 250 yards offense for the Eagles, but they won. 4 field goals, pick 6. Buck threatened to do it one time. I think we were doing golf, and Buck threatened to come on into the room and do it.
Tell him only if he walks in with room service.
No, and we have a production meeting at 10 a.m. every Monday.
Zoom?
No, well, for those that aren't here, but no, so we end the show, we do the promo. I got to race second floor conference room.
Well, you don't have to do the promo for tomorrow. I can always, if you need the.
Well, it's okay. I like to be able to walk in 3 minutes late and they give me a hard time. I go, the radio show just ended. What did I say last time? I think something to the effect of, hey, if you want, I don't have to come.
That was Logic Man. That was a pretty awful football game.
I was impressed that he didn't make the mistake. He let the Vikings make the mistakes. They're not going to be a good team. He doesn't root, like you think. He's very objective. He gets his grief in Dallas because he's not pro Cowboys enough. Mello, Mark and I would like to tell your child what we tell everyone's children. Go do something else for a living.
Make some money.
Please. Please. You've spent too much time and money and emotional investment in your child to ask Felipe how many times we've tried to talk him out of doing something else for a living, but he's all in and he's working 2 jobs. And that's the kind of thing that we actually look for. If you're gonna do this with all the negative that comes with it, awful hours and awful pay, you got to do it. You got to just dive in and explain to the people in your life, I'm not going to be around a lot. It's not that I don't want to be.
Here we go.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
"21 minutes past the hour. Troy Aikman 40 minutes from now. And we know in Lake City, Tampa, St. Pete, and Port Charlotte and Venice, you're going, well, wait a minute. The show ends at 9. Well, you hear us talking about the Diamond District bonus hour. We do it for our Fort Myers, Naples, Southwest Florida listeners, but we also broadcast it on the Miller and Moulton Twitch.tv channel, YouTube, Facebook, and what have you. So, find us. Hell, there's even a local station we're on in Southwest Florida has got an app. Find us. You'll hear Troy Aikman at the top of the hour. And who knows, maybe one day your station will carry our 9 o'clock hour. We think we might be adding a station that will, in fact, carry our 9 o'clock hour.
What?
I know. It's rumored. Hope to have more news coming up later on in the month. Hey, we billed it as a sneaky good college weekend. Okay. Once again, we rattled off on Friday 15 very interesting non-conference games. And I'm sorry, it delivered. Everybody's only talking about Texas, Alabama. We get it. Okay, a little bit about the Canes and A&M. We get it. By the way, how about that kickoff return? Man, aren't kickoff returns great?
They really are. Should eliminate them from the game.
I know. Man, listen, it's a violent game. Guys are going to get hurt. There's only so much you could do. We're going to eliminate the kickoff return. Man, is it exciting. Golly. It's like a triple in baseball. You hear people like exhale and inhale even. It's exciting, a kickoff return. Oh, is he going to break it? Oh, he gets tackled at the shoe tops at the 32. Or, the big hit. Uh-oh, he could go. Yeah, we definitely want to take that. We need more bubble screens. So we need more of that. How about Colorado? How about Colorado?
They
Oof.
They just whacked Nebraska in the second half.
Yeah. By the way, talk about a fan base that has to be. Bears fan base, Nebraska Cornhuskers fan base. Who's hitting the hard stuff longer this week? Wow. Mark, it's not just that Nebraska keeps being bad. They keep being bad the exact same way. It doesn't matter who the coach is, who the quarterback is. They're 10 years, they've looked the exact same way.
They make bad quarterback play seem normal.
Oh, my goodness. Are they going to have to start getting T-shirts, kind of like the Browns did forever? All the quarterbacks since Bernie, all the Dolphins T-shirts, all the quarterbacks since Marino. Man, are we going to have to go like quarterbacks since Scott Frost? Oh, my goodness. Anyway, did you see lost in the Notre Dame win at NC State, which, by the way, this just in, Notre Dame looks kind of salty.
That offense looks pretty good.
Yeah. You know why? Guess what they got, Mark?
A quarterback, David.
It's funny how that works. So you're 8-4 one year when you don't really have one. You get one. All right. And now all of a sudden you look like, hey, maybe we're Phil Steele's sleeper pick to make the playoff. My number one surprise team in the country, Phil Steele. They host Ohio State in 12 days. That might get a few people's attention. Just saying. We said it. We said it. Why we were not smart enough to bet it, that's part of Miller and Moulton's charm. We laid out exactly what was going to happen in Pullman, Washington. We said there had not been a Power 5 school outside of the Pac-12 come to Pullman, Washington in 25 years. They were treating this game as if it was the biggest game outside of the Apple Cup in 25 years. So did either one of us take Washington State against Wisconsin? No.
And David, I'm going to lay off this bandwagon because I was not as adamant. This was your game. This was your baby. You spelled this all out for us Thursday and Friday. And how you, as the game is going on, I almost texted you and said, what does it matter with you?
Right. Mm-hmm.
You pick 47 games a week. You're not limited by what we say the segment is, 5.
No.
You don't care.
Nope. I don't. So Iowa beat Iowa State in a low-scoring game. You know why? That's what they do.
What's he supposed to average a game this year? The O coordinator, 35 a game?
No. It's actually pretty modest. It's 25 a game.
25 a game. I'm sorry.
Right. They've yet to hit it. I think they've scored 24 and 20 in their first 2 games.
You are correct.
He needs to average 25 a game to keep his job and to get a bonus and all that. So there you go. But anyway, there were some sneaky good college. Cincinnati went to Pitt, whooped up on Pitt. Cincinnati's they're going to have a showdown game coming up here. Cincinnati, I think, are they hosting like Oklahoma a week from Saturday? Something like that. I mean,
Cincinnati wasn't supposed to be that good.
No. And so, they got that going for themselves, which is nice. So we'll see.
You are right. They're 2 weeks away from Oklahoma. They've got a MAC school next week.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. By the way, game day is going to be in Boulder.
Get it done before they lose.
Totally. Get it done. They'll win. They'll be 3-0. And then, we'll see what happens. They got Oregon and USC back-to-back?
That's correct. Colorado State this week, and then the schedule gets a little more taxing.
A little bit. So that's all. It was a sneaky good college football weekend. That's all we were saying. This, by the way, not much meat on the bone this week in college football. It really isn't. Now, in 12 days, it could be the best weekend of the year outside of rivalry weekend. I mean, September 23rd is absolutely loaded. In fact, you want to impress the certain someone in your life. This may be, except for Saturday night, Florida, Tennessee. This could actually be a Saturday afternoon where you actually maybe little family time.
Well, you've got to pay attention early because you don't know what can happen because, Clemson played Charleston Southern, gives up 2 early scores on turnovers. It's 14-7 Charleston Southern. And Clemson people are losing their mind. Austin P in Tennessee's a game into the third quarter in that game.
I know.
And then App State took North Carolina to overtime.
Yep. Which they always seem to do. I give Matt credit for playing that game. That's a no-win game for North Carolina, and he plays it. He did it with the Texas schools, too. I give Matt credit for doing it. It's good for college football. Remember last year we gave credit. NC State went to East Carolina and all that. Good for you guys. That's even one of those deals in which we hope it's a good close game. You almost hope that the big boy wins so that the big boy will keep doing it because it's really good for the sport.
But you are right. Notre Dame's got a little something offensively this year.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they do.
And with Ohio State coming early, that is going to be an interesting weekend in South Bend.
Ohio State's got the typical Alabama schedule, a toughie in September, a toughie in October, and a toughie in November. They got Notre Dame, Penn State, Michigan, a month apart, all three. Michigan's got 9 cupcakes, and then they play Penn State and Ohio State within 14 days in November. But Notre Dame, by the way, they get Ohio State at home, they get USC at home. Just saying, for those of you that hate the Irish, this could be a rough year. Just saying. We'll see, but they got the better quarterback in the Ohio State game, okay? They do. They have the better quarterback coming up in the Ohio State game. Can't say it in the USC game, but they got it in the Ohio State game.
They may not have the most talent in either, but they're getting Ohio State at the right time. If they're going to get them, it's the right opportunity for Notre Dame to take on the Buckeyes in that one. Miller and Moulton. The text line open at 21,000. Troy Aikman in 30 minutes right here on the Florida Sports Network.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Yeah, I disagree, Logic Man. I actually thought he did a hell of a job at Notre Dame. He made Notre Dame a consistent top 10 program again. Now, he couldn't beat the big boys there. And he said so when he took the LSU job. He thought he had done just about all he could at Notre Dame, that he could not get it to the championship level. Now, they're going to go to a 12-team playoff now. I mean, that really should help a school like Notre Dame.
I have to get Peacock this week if I want to watch my Spartans get beat by Washington.
There's a team, by the way, that has looked great.
Really
2
good.
weeks in Washington. Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Kicking myself. Another game that I liked that I didn't play. I liked Arizona and the 9 at Mississippi State. Arizona committed 5 turnovers and still should have won. Lost in overtime. Auburn did beat Cal. They went on the road and beat Cal.
Oh, yeah. I wish I could pick my 4 games, though, Adam. Would make it the greatest thing ever if you could literally pick the 4 games. $350.
Coming back.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
Fired up on this Monday, September 11th. Thanks so much for being with us. Mark in the cozy confines of the Southwest Florida studios. My road show has begun. Jersey City with a direct view of Lower Manhattan on this fateful day in American history. Here for Monday Night Football, Bills and Jets. And at MetLife Stadium about 12 hours ago, one of the 2 teams that I have in the Super Bowl looked as if I may have to change my pick to them losing the Super Bowl to winning the Super Bowl. They really did look that good. I know it's the Cowboys, and none of us have any faith in them winning a big game, but my goodness, they looked really good last night.
They did. They did, and everything that could go wrong for the Giants went wrong. They were absolutely horrendous last night. Got off to just a great start, didn't they?
Well, let's see. You're inside the 10. You fumble so that you go backwards about 15 yards. Then you have the field goal block return for a touchdown. Then you have Saquon catch a pass, get hit, ball pops up in the air. They take that in for a touchdown. I thought it was hysterical. Dallas had the ball once and was up 19-0. Drives were like 4-1 Giants. Score 19-0 Cowboys. Defense is looking over at Dak going, we know what you can do against these guys. We just want to show off for a while. You just stay right there. We're good. 7 sacks, 3 turnovers. We'll even block a kick. We're good. Don't worry about it.
One of my Super Bowl teams looked good. Not even really. Neither of my Super Bowl teams looked that good. One won. The Eagles won. They didn't do anything that impressive in winning.
No. Patriots held them to 250 yards of offense. Their head coach questioning himself after the game, saying, me not playing the guys in the preseason, I may have to rethink that. And then before he was done answering the question, he said, in fact, I have rethought it. We're going to play the guys a few series next year. I just thought they should have kept him talking. 10 more minutes. He might have played him in all the preseason games. He might have scheduled a college game against an FCS team in August. He was on a roll.
They were close to scheduling Temple. I'm pretty sure that they were going to try to fit that in.
Got it. Well, South Florida can. Why can't the Eagles? They're in the same city anyway. But there were some teams that looked great. Felipe is wearing his Tua jersey. He's going to sleep in it. I don't know when he's going to take it off. Listen, I hate to rain on anybody's parade. We're both big Tua guys, taking a lot of heat for it. But just go to New England and get a W, man. And don't even care how it looks. You can look like Tampa Bay going into Minnesota. Don't even care. If you could, a road division win that in the AFC, that's impressive. I'm sorry, unless it's the AFC South, but that's impressive. Take it, run home 2-0, and then have a BOGO. Maybe some people will show up. Oh, I'm sorry, it's the other Miami team. My bad. Dolphins are sold out already.
You are right, though. Get a W on the road because division wins are going to be difficult. And the difference between the Bills, the Jets, and the Dolphins at the end of the day may be who beats the Patriots twice.
Well, you said that you go, what are the Patriots going to go in that division? They probably won't go 0-6. If they go 1-5, who's the one against? Could be a huge one. Yeah, just get it. Get the W. Go home. Listen, by the way, Tua was touched twice, no sacks. Tua's going to get hit against New England. He is. Matthew Judon is better than anybody else the Chargers have. Khalil Mack's living off his name, and one Bosa is not the other, even if he's paid in the area code of his brother. He ain't the same guy. Not to take away from what the Dolphins offensive line did, because that was let's be honest. If we had the over-under at a half a sack in the game, how many of us would have lost our homes betting against the Dolphins offensive line? I would have lost mine. Absolutely, I would have. That's why I didn't pick them to go to the playoffs. For as excited as I am about the Dolphins, I ultimately just feel that line is going to let them down. It didn't yesterday. They played from behind most of the game, too. They overcame 4 deficits, including at the end. So it's not like they could really work the running game in. Mike McDaniel kind of had the feeling, man, every time Chargers get the ball, they're going to score.
Well, and David, when they ran, they didn't run it all that effectively.
No. No, but it wasn't helping. The other team, long drives. They ran for over 200 yards. They were throwing it effectively. I think Mike McDaniel, by late second quarter, was like, I don't know how patient I can be. I don't know how many times I'm going to get the ball, and they are moving it every time they get it. He's looking over at Vic going, hey, man, I thought things were going to be different. Vic's like, don't worry. We'll be there at the end. Okay.
And they don't blitz the entire game, basically, and then come up with some blitz packages late, get a couple of sacks, and able to take care of the one most important drive that the Chargers had, their last one.
They were great on that last drive. 2 sacks, and they forced it an intentional grounding. They dominated with the game on the line. The defense with the game on the line, Mike McDaniel, Tua, Tyreek, they did their job. And with the game on the line, Vic and the high-paid pass rushers that the Dolphins have, they did their job. At the end of the day, the money people produced for the Dolphins in the final 5 minutes. Both sides of the ball.
And Hill was great, but not better than that last catch. That last pitch and catch between Tua and Hill was something.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Tyreek Hill promised a 2,000-yard season. Right now he's on pace for, what do we do the math? He's on pace for like 3,600. He's going to have 100. Is this kind of like, when what's-his-face Arise was when he was hitting around 400 for the Marlins, all right? And he'd go, 2 for 5, and we'd go, dude, that's average. I mean, come on, could you do something? I mean, Tyreek's going to have like a 120-yard day, and we're going to go, come on, man. What's going on?
Well, Rise had a couple of those 5 for 5s to get him up over 400 earlier in the season. That's what yesterday was for Hill. That was just his 5 for 5 start to let everybody know what's possible.
So what's going to be your overreaction today? What's a good or bad? The team, who's the team, the player, the performance that you're now ready? Because you and I, we made our picks, and I kept them, man. I took them with me on the road. I got them right here. Okay. Is anybody do anything yesterday in which went, damn, can I get a mulligan? Good, bad, or indifferent? Like anybody change their tune about the Browns? Or now they own Joe Burrow and the Bengals. That's just
I won't make any crazy reactions because of week 1.
Okay. Jordan Love and the Packers. Anybody in that division? Anybody? Come on. How many of you had them finish over 500 in the top half of that division? Come on now. Are you anybody willing to, if we gave you a mulligan,
if you give me
Mark,
one mulligan, David,
yeah, I'll give you a mulligan. What would it be?
I had the Vikings making the playoffs. I don't know if I can still do that.
Okay, that's all right. That's a modest mulligan. I will say that's modest. That's modest. Okay.
But I'm not ready to change my Super Bowl champion Cincinnati Bengals off of one loss.
Oh, good for you.
But man, did they look awful.
Mark, 6 first downs. Six.
Burrow threw for what, 82 yards in the game?
82 yards. Well, the extension doesn't kick in yet. He's still working off his rookie deal. So, I don't want to hear about it. It was a yard and a half for every million. Don't tell me it was, 700,000 a yard. No. We're not there yet. Okay. We're not there yet. Bengals had 142 yards offense. That seems like a pretty good defensive performance by the Browns. I'm going to say, Deshaun Watson by the second half has started to look a little bit like a guy who used to play quarterback in Houston. His name was Deshaun Watson. I'm just saying, maybe they're related. We'll see. Just wondering, it's Overreaction Monday, and it's week 1 Overreaction Monday. So, if we gave everybody a mulligan, what would it be?
I'm sure a lot of them would say the San Francisco 49ers are going to win the Super Bowl the way they looked.
Tell you.
Niners Cowboys in that NFC Championship game based on yesterday's results. No one seemed to mind when they used to do that, David.
No, in fact, Fox loved it, and they'd love it again. One of them beating the Eagles in the division round. Oh, they'd love it. My goodness. So, just wondering how many of you, maybe change your tune about the Raiders or the Broncos. Either way, I'll say this. I am concerned about Baltimore. I just am. I had them squeaking in as the 7 seed, winning 10 games. I'm not changing it. I'm just saying I'm concerned. I knew it was going to be a work in progress. Todd Monken, very different offense than Greg Roman, Lamar and the receivers and everybody. I did love Odell's entrance. I'm sorry that in Baltimore, come on. They love Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis's entrance, okay, they love in Baltimore. Most of you may not like it. Mark and I are into celebrations. We liked it. Odell came out and did Ray Lewis in pregame intros. I'm sorry. That's awesome. That's fun. We're paying a lot of money, wasting a lot of time, is sitting out in the heat. That's fun. Sorry, it's fun. I loved it. I have no idea if it's just going to catch 17 passes this year, but it was fun.
Do you have any overreactions that you're willing to worry about? I mean, like,
No.
for instance, you did pick the Steelers to win the AFC North.
You know, I did. Okay, and I have to admit they were a little underwhelming yesterday. But no, I'm a Tomlin guy. I am. I'm sorry. I'm a Mike Tomlin guy. I mean, they were 3-7 last year and finished with a winning record. I'm a Mike Tomlin guy. They've looked like before. Sorry, he's a Hall of Fame coach. Don't know how many are doing it today that are better. I don't think there are 3 guys doing it better than him. So no. I actually think it's a good thing. Too many people were saying too many good things. Now he can go back to yelling at them. They weren't listening to him. They're going to listen to him now.
You are right, because the Steelers were not just your popular choice. There were a lot of people picking them in that game against the Niners. Saw a lot of people nationally picking the Steelers to win that division, and they were handled a little bit of humble pie against the 49ers on Sunday. So they have plenty of room for improvement, but not down here in Florida. Not where we have winners, David.
No, nothing but winners. In fact, we're going to rename the damn state. It's not the Sunshine State. It's the Winners State. Yeah. Well, at least get to the finals state. How about that? Yeah. But Jags, Bucks, Dolphins all go on the road, all win. Huh? How about that?
Heck, the Marlins took 2 out of 3 in the Phillies.
Look at him. He's on a roll. I don't even know if Messi and I don't think they played over the weekend. I don't know.
To be honest, I don't think it matters.
Look at that. Wow.
It's football season.
Wow.
No longer football season.
Look at that. Tua and the Canes took Messi and just threw him to the side. Aisle 8 at Publix. Boom. Here you go. Look at that.
But there are reasons to be excited about South Florida football. There's no doubt, because of all the performances, while the Dolphins was great, the Canes is the one that I come away most impressed with. I don't know about you, David, but of the Florida weekend football performances, I would rank the Canes performance number 1, slightly above that of the Miami Dolphins.
And now they're at least ranked in the AP poll. They'll likely be ranked in the 2 major polls that come out today. And they have a very soft schedule the next 2-3 weeks. They really should be 5-0. Okay, that'd be awesome. Great. And then let's see, they got off to a good start last year and won one game in the last 2 months. So, but yeah, I'm with you, Mark. Van Dyke hadn't played a good game against a good team in a year and a half, and he was tremendous. And so were they. So that's awesome.
They gave him the time he needed a year ago, and he didn't play well under pressure. On Saturday, they gave him plenty of time, and he delivered.
Once again, though, Florida State's back. USC's back. Texas is back. If the Canes show signs that they're coming back, it only increases the pressure in Gainesville. Jeez.
Miller and Moulton. Thanks for listening along the network lines. You will have to download an app to hear Troy Aikman. He is next in the bonus hour in the 239.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again.
Yeah. Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here.
Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Oh yeah, Canada relief. No, the minute the New York teams get decent, oh no. It was one of the things that we joked about when I was lucky enough to hook up with Joe and Troy and Fox. The Giants weren't good. We never did any Giants games. And of course, everybody in the booth knows I'm a Giants fan. And they laughed. They said, yeah, we've done 20 years of Giants games, just, none for you.
What game do you have next week?
Pittsburgh.
That's your first trip there?
Yeah. Cleveland, Pittsburgh. It's a double header. I think Carolina, New Orleans, the early game.
Yeah.
And then there's a doubleheader the next week, and I think we're the early game, Philly, Tampa. I think it's the early game, and I don't know what the late game is.
Cincy.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And then week 4, we're back at MetLife. I think it's Seattle and the Giants. He texts me, by the way, so he's ready.
All right.
So he will call. I even told him who's answering the phone and everything.
Told him Tua was answering the phone.
I left that part out. I went with his nickname, Felipe.
He's on.
I think just one.
Troy Aikman is on hold. Here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
And it is the Diamond District bonus hour. Miller and Moulton, thanks so much for being with us on this Monday, September 11th. Mark is back in the cozy confines. I'm in Jersey City with a direct view of Lower Manhattan, in town for Monday Night Football, the Bills and the Jets. And one of the two gentlemen calling the game is kind enough to join us. Troy Aikman, for 22 years. He and Joe Buck have been calling the NFL. This is year 2 for them on Monday Night Football. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, David. I'm doing great. Looking forward to the game tonight for sure.
When you think about the first game, Troy, just in your experience, how were you nervous for all your opening games? Did you get the butterflies, or were they something that happened, or as time went on, they weren't as bad?
No, I was one of those. I think most players are. I've heard a number of people talk about it, but yeah, no, I was one of those players that got the butterflies before every game. Week 1 was no more than week 10 for that matter, and year 1 was no different than year 10. It's just all part of it, and I think if you don't have that, at least my experience was that you weren't quite as ready to go, but. A lot of good games yesterday, a lot of surprising games as well, and hoping maybe that our game tonight's a little bit better than the last one that was played at the Meadowlands.
Well, it's not a high bar that we have to clear tonight.
No, it's not. You're right.
That is for sure. Hey, before we get to the games from this past weekend and tonight's game, did you or teams you were on, did you ever overreact positively or negatively because of week 1, or because you guys are professionals, did you just treat it as one of 16, now 17?
No, I think regardless of what you say, I think week 1 carries a little more significance, at least psychologically, because when the schedule comes out in May, you have months to prepare for that opener. You know who the team is that you're going to face. You start preparing even in practice. The coaches go to work on it, and then in practice there'll be different periods where they'll start putting up the cards for the opponent that you're going to play on week 1. And so when you go out and you fail to win the game, or especially if you just fail to play to the level that you expect, there's a feeling that it's doomsday, that you're just, you may never win a game for that matter. And then if you win, then it gets your season off to a really great start. So I've always felt that week 1 was really important. And if you do lose week 1, the amount of urgency that you have going into week 2 is much more so than those teams that won. So there's a lot to it, of course. It is a long year, as we all know. They all count the same when it's all said and done. But psychologically, I think week 1 is a big deal.
Troy, Aaron Rodgers played in the last preseason game. A lot of guys not playing in preseason. How important in your estimation is it to get a little bit underneath you in preseason?
I always thought it was important. Back when I was playing, it was pretty normal. And then the third preseason game, back when there was 4, you'd play an entire half. And that really all kind of changed about the time that Sean McVay became the head coach with the Rams. I believe he was the first one to just not play starters at all. And they came out of the gate that year and played some good football. And Now, most teams are doing it that way, but I've always felt the teams that at least put the starters out there for a period of time and let them get some work together. I think that bodes well. I don't believe in the theory that, hey, we just want to make sure these guys are as healthy as possible week one. Yes, you want that, but at what expense? And so I like the fact, even though it was not a lot, I think it was 8 snaps is what Rodgers ended up playing, but I like the fact that he played. It's the first time in 5 years he has played in the preseason. And then there's others, of course, that played more. Josh Allen, of course, played as well. But I like if I were coaching, and I always say it's easy to say if I were, but I would play my starters at least some snaps. I wouldn't feel comfortable going into the season opener not having played anyone.
Troy Aikman beginning year 2 of Monday Night Football with Joe Buck. Bills and Jets from MetLife Stadium, the Aaron Rodgers highly anticipated debut. And of course, for both teams feeling Super Bowl expectations. You had mentioned a few moments ago when you came on some of what caught your attention week 1. What was it?
Oh, I think the way Cleveland played against Cincinnati and dominated that game. I thought it'd be a good game. It's a great rivalry, but didn't anticipate that. I probably Tampa Bay upsetting Minnesota on the road. A lot of road wins yesterday, as you know. So yeah, I think, and even last night's game, I thought going into it, Dallas is a better team than they were a year ago. But obviously no one in the NFL ever expects to win a game 40-0. So, there were just a few surprises, and then, but it happens. It happens each week. But then as we move through this year, we'll get a better feel for maybe some of the teams that we didn't expect to be all that competitive. Well, there'll be a few that surprise us. I think even Seattle, not doing better than they did, week 1. They're one of those teams that I always feel they're going to get stronger and stronger. It just seems to be the way that Pete Carroll does it. But them playing the way that they did was a bit of a surprise as well.
And San Francisco with another great win against Pittsburgh as well. That's the one that impressed me, because a lot was expected out of Pittsburgh this year, and Brock Purdy doing it, the second year. Now that there's a little bit more tape, there's a little bit more to see on him. Brock Purdy came out and looked pretty darn good again yesterday.
Oh my gosh, he looked fantastic. And I know that obviously he was good last year. I've been a bit surprised by the skeptics on him coming into this season. I just think that, first of all, I think at the quarterback position, too often we overrate athletic ability and arm strength. I think at the end of the day, if you make good decisions and you throw the football accurately, that's far more important than many other things. And I think Brock Purdy is a good example of that. Yeah, he can move and he can run and do some of those things. That's not what he's necessarily leaning on. But within that system and the players that they have, and others have shown it, other quarterbacks that have played within that system have shown it, that if you make good decisions and put the ball where you want to put it, you're going to have a pretty good career with Kyle Shanahan and the offensive players that they have. And so I think he's going to continue to play at a high level. I think that team's really good. And I guess that's probably my takeaway just off the top of my head watching the games yesterday, that the two teams that met up last year in the divisional round with the Cowboys and 49ers right now look to be the top two teams in the NFC.
What's it like being on a team in which you go to camp and the feeling is Super Bowl or bust? Because there's probably 6 teams: Eagles, Cowboys, Niners, Bills, Chiefs, Bengals, who legitimately feel if we don't, have the trophy at the end, we have not succeeded this year. You had that feeling 4 or 5 times entering training camp. What is that like?
It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling because you know that you've got a chance. The league is different because back when I played, the teams there were a few more of those teams, but you could pretty much pick with certainty that one of the Super Bowl champions was going to come from that group. There were very few surprises, as there is in today's game, where teams kind of rise from nowhere and have these spectacular years and may go from last to winning the Super Bowl. But it is a good feeling. But yet, with that said, that even though you go into the year, and I think we can say that about these teams that are playing tonight with the Bills and the Jets, that a lot can happen. I mean, you can lose players, and then you're not the same team. And I'm not saying the expectations change, but at the end of the year, depending on what all has happened during the year, you can look back and say, all things considered, even though we didn't win the Super Bowl, that was a pretty successful season. But on the outset going in, everyone knows what the standards are and what you're trying to accomplish. And it's a long year when you are one of those teams, because it really doesn't matter. Like as great as the win was, and I think that's the challenge then for a coaching staff and also for a team and for the players, is to find enjoyment in the process and in the weekly victories, if you will. But I know from my own experience, that's hard to do, because in a lot of ways, when you beat a team, if you don't beat them dominantly, then people are questioning, oh, well, is this team really as good? So they kind of take a little bit away from you in that regard. And I think you've got to find your own happiness and find your own enjoyment, because it's a long year to get to January and to the games that matter, that are going to determine whether or not your season was ultimately successful.
How much more enjoyment do you think Aaron has found this year? I mean, obviously, he's been playing at a high level throughout his whole career, but now we're seeing him out. We're seeing what appears to be a different Aaron Rodgers on the surface. Do you think that matters when it comes to between the white lines?
A little bit, yeah. I think it all ties together. I think if you're happy when you're away from the field, if you're happy during the week leading into these games, I think there's some carryover. I think he's in a good place. Really enjoyed visiting with him on Saturday afternoon. He's been pretty open and pretty vocal about where he is and kind of the things that he's been through in his personal life that has allowed him to maybe enjoy things a little bit more. And maybe at his age now, at 39, hard to believe that he's the oldest player in the NFL currently. I didn't think that we'd ever see that from Rodgers back 5 years ago when I talked with him. And, I wasn't certain he would even make it to this stage. But here he is, and I think change is good sometimes. And he had been in one place for a long time, and to go somewhere else and be around different players, different staff, different building, different support people that he runs into each and every day. He seems to have really enjoyed that part of it. So it's been quite a honeymoon, as we know. We've all seen it on Hard Knocks. It's been great to see. But at some point, the honeymoon's going to end, and it may end tonight, and it likely will at some point during the game. And what I mean by that is there's ebbs and flows of every game, and there certainly is in every season. There's moments in a season where you question whether you're good enough to even win the next week because there's pitfalls and there's ruts during the course of the year, and how they deal with it. Not only the Jets, but all teams that are in that position. And then Aaron Rodgers is a highly competitive guy, and if things are not going well, this soft, kind individual that we've seen so much of, the competitiveness in him and the competitor in him is going to come out, and that's not a bad thing. But I think the teammates that I've talked to that I was around when I was at their facility, they're prepared for that, and I think this team's going to be really, really good.
Do you think the expectations are too high? Because a lot of comparisons are being made. When Brady left the Patriots, he went to a 7-win Tampa Bay team that was talented but lacking at the quarterback position. Same deal with the Jets, 7-win team, talented, lacking at the quarterback position. We all know what Tom did first year in Tampa. Are the expectations too high with the Jets?
No, I don't think they're too high. Well, let me say this. I think when you are Super Bowl or bust, that's a high bar, because it's hard to win a Super Bowl. I was often asked, why do so few teams repeat as Super Bowl champions? And so, well, first of all, it's hard to win the first time, and then you got to go back and do it all over again. So the odds are against you. But No, I don't think the bar is too high. This is a really good football team. I remember watching them in Robert Sala's first year in preseason, watching the defense, and I thought, wow, these guys really fly around, and this defense is going to be really good. Now, they were not all that good in 21, but last year they totally turned it around. They're built the way you would want to be built for today's game. They've got great cover guys. They get after the quarterback, and Garrett Wilson is as good a receiver, really in his first year last year, but as good a second-year receiver as I've ever seen. I mean, he is phenomenal. And you know me, Dave, that I'm a tough critic on receivers, but this guy is amazing. And so you combine him with some of the guys that Rodgers is familiar with already, and Alan Lazard and Randall Cobb, and now they've got Dalvin Cook and Breece Hall coming off of his injury. The key is going to be the offensive line, and probably more specific, the offensive tackles, and can they stay healthy? But there are few weaknesses within that team, and as few with the Jets as there is any team in the league. So I don't think the bar is high, and it's going to be a fun year to see exactly how this all shapes up and ends up when it's all said and done.
As the Jets have gotten better, as the Dolphins seemingly have gotten better, have the Bills kept up offensively with what's needed to be done in this division, Troy?
I think so. Yeah, I like them. I like them a lot. And if I'm them, I'm probably not real happy that they've kind of handed the division to the Jets. I mean, and they've gotten a lot of attention, of course, and they're the 3-time division champs in the AFC East. So, but I do like them. I think the pick for Dalton Kincaid is really going to help them. It's going to give them a little bit of a different look. They haven't used 2 tight end personnel much. They will now. You don't draft a guy in that position in the first round and not utilize him. So I am curious, with that said, just how much are we going to see? How different is it going to look? I think that, we've talked about Aaron Rodgers, and, the success of these teams is dependent, as everyone knows, on how well the quarterback plays. And you have to carry a load if you are one of these franchise quarterbacks and if you're going to be a really good football team. But I don't know that there's just not many organizations that depend as much on the quarterback as Buffalo does. I think you could say that in Baltimore, Lamar Jackson and what he's asked to do, but all that he has to make up for, with whether it was the offensive line issues last year inside, some of the pressures that he would get, or the amount that he runs the football. I just think that if he's not on his game playing his best football, the Bills in the past have had a hard time winning. And I think that for them to really be able to get to the next step and have more success in the postseason, I think they've got to take some of that burden off of him, and at least some of the pounding that he takes, so that he's a healthier, fresher Josh Allen when he does get to the postseason. And maybe we'll witness that tonight, because it will be key, of course, against this great defense that the Jets have.
Thanks for making time for us, particularly on a work day.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate it. Hopefully we can do this again. Have a terrific year 2 at Monday Night Football and year 22 with Joe.
You got it, my man. I'll see you later tonight.
Troy Aikman, kind enough to join us here on Miller and Moulton. Bills and Jets tonight, ESPN, 8:15. One of these weeks we're going to do the game. I think we're the 7:00 game, but I don't think that's for another week or two. I think the Bucks game. I think the Bucks Eagles week 3. I think we're the early game. But
get some sleep on a Monday night. You won't know what to do with yourself.
I know. Listen, in fact, I'm pretty sure I even contemplated, do I just drive home after the Monday Night Football game? Because we'll be done at like 10:15 or so.
Let's not get nuts. Okay, let's not get nuts.
Just saying. Just saying. But have to admit, he sounds genuinely fired up about the game tonight. Like he's drinking some of the Kool-Aid too about these two teams.
Well, I mean, they've only been advertising this game for seemingly a year and a half, David.
I understand this game's gotten a little attention. In fact, I've heard some of the lead-up shows on ESPN have spent a lot of time talking about the Jets.
Just a touch. They're never going to lose.
They're the Orioles, huh?
That's it.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, the Orioles did lose on Sunday. Fortunately for the Jets, they're playing on Monday, so that's a good day. Miller and Moulton. More on what Troy had to say. We'll look ahead to Monday Night Football ourselves. Good, bad, and ugly. What's on tap today was the day when, all that good stuff right here on the Diamond District Bonus Hour edition of Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Myers.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
I asked you that question because I got disconnected somehow, but I had asked Troy the question and he was answering it. And so fortunately you were up next. And so I knew I had time to reconnect and what have you, but I didn't know if you had asked him one question or two before I reconnected.
Just one. He actually gave a long answer to your question.
Okay.
And he started talking about being happy, you know, and how, so it kind of led me into the Rogers question.
I'm wondering if we can run that tomorrow with only having to edit out there. Because we didn't get into the nuts and bolts of the game. And I'm wondering if we could run that or a large chunk of it for the network tomorrow. What's your thought on that?
We can. Definitely can. He's just got to cut it into.
Well, but I'm not so sure how much has to be even edited out.
I understand, but we don't do a segment it's just a timing thing.
You're right. Dadgum, good point. And we'd have to intro it because obviously we started at the top of the hour and I said it was September 11th and all that. I think we're going to get guests at I'm trying to get a guest at 7:38 and a guest at 8:38 after David Sampson at 7. Maybe we run whatever we're going to run from Troy again at 8. That'd be a good time to run it, right?
Yep.
I don't believe so, no. No, Adam, that would be 1010XL in Jacksonville. No, there's no way they would take us. Now, the ESPN in Jacksonville should take us. We would be a tremendous upgrade over ESPN National in that market. They care about the Jags, the Gators, and the Dogs.
God, the Steelers were awful.
Oh, damn. Wow. Seahawks, Steelers, Giants. Who looked the worst?
Yes.
Definitely the G-men.
Seahawks had 180 yards, by the way. Yeah, Bengals had $142. I know. What do you mean RCB is last night in the... Oh. For who? Last night. Giants? Oh, I think it's on the players. I mean, the two guys on the field goal missed their assignment. Guy blocked it. You know.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
27 minutes past the hour. Thanks so much for being with us. If you're just joining us, we had Troy Aikman on. We'll probably replay some of that interview tomorrow. We're thinking in the 8 o'clock hour, talking about the NFL as a whole. He obviously is getting ready for Bills and Jets tonight, Monday Night Football. Buffalo a 2-point favorite, over under 45.5. So, you know, what's Vegas saying? 24-22, something like that?
I have a question for you, David.
Mm-hmm.
If we're going to rerun some of Troy's interview, are you, not me, not Felipe, not the Florida Sports Network, but are you contractually obligated to run at least a little bit of the Danielson interview as well?
No, I'm not. Okay. I'm not contractually obligated. I don't feel I'm morally obligated. Okay. Troy's been on the show, 3-4 times. Gary's been on the show
300-400 times.
Right. So no.
Just checking.
Nope.
Don't want to get in any trouble.
I don't feel you will. Okay. I think Gary. Besides, okay, I came through personally for Gary after the game Saturday. Okay. So I mean he's got to keep me for another week. All right. He misplaced his phone for a short time. Okay. And so I was able to help him out in a big way. I was a good buddy for about an hour.
Good for you.
Yeah. So he's got to keep me at least through South Carolina, Georgia. He's going to fire me at least once every year, and you never know when it's going to happen. It could happen after South Carolina, Georgia, but he's got to keep me, I think, through Saturday. I think he feels a moral obligation to keep me through Saturday.
Well, and it's usually you with the phone. So the fact that you could help him out with the phone.
Totally.
That's positive. A lot of positives.
Totally. It was role reversal. There's no question about it. No question. So, turnabout's fair play. Spend enough time on the road, eventually it all comes around. But
you probably should follow David tonight. He is taking Buffalo. I am taking the Jets. We are knotted up with 4 losses apiece in our NFL picks straight up this week.
The only reason Mark says that, I mean, goodness knows it's not because of me picking games against the number. I mean, I'm 4-9 on the season. It's September. I suck. I don't heat up till around Columbus Day. The leaves have to turn somewhere in order for me to start picking games accurately. It's just because road teams are 10-5 straight up. And I happen to pick the Bills and Mark picked the Jets. So right now, Mark's a little worried that this home road thing is gonna continue.
Absolutely nuts how little home field means anymore.
And I got to give us credit. We were actually on this coming out of the pandemic, where obviously there was no home field advantage. So you took 2020 and you just pushed it aside. But coming out of it, I mean, home teams ended up having a run late in 2021. I think home teams won like 53 or 54% of the games. I don't think home teams had a winning record last year, did they? I mean, if they did, it was like 51% with a very late push. Most of the year, road teams had won more games straight up than home teams. And so if you took the last 2 years and you put them together, I mean, it's negligible. You literally, the 3 points that you give to the home team, we were arguing, well, I know Vegas has reduced it to 2. Some places have said 1.5. You should eliminate it entirely.
Yeah, if the Chargers-Dolphins game was that number because of home field, it's never been more apparent while it doesn't matter. And that game could have gone either way. But if you watch that game, it felt like a neutral site game. It did not feel like a Charger home game.
And I know there are some places, then again, Seattle got drilled at home by the Rams yesterday.
Kansas City lost to Detroit. Don't know what to tell you.
Right. The Packers have, Lambeau Field. Yeah, they've lost quite a few games there, actually. Big games, too.
Pittsburgh's always thought of their place as a huge home field advantage. San Francisco just scored again.
Right. With that 10 a.m. local kickoff time, too,
right,
that they played in. Right. Steelers had every advantage going into that game. Mm-hmm. Good thing Bosa was.
5 home teams won. 5.
Right. That's it. New Orleans, Atlanta, Washington, Cleveland, Baltimore. And the Browns don't count because they own the Bengals. We're kidding. Saints, Falcons, Commanders, Browns, Ravens. Only home teams to win. And by the way, Cleveland was the only one that was an underdog, too. So that's 4 favorites and the Browns who own the Bengals. Can't beat anybody else in the division, but boy, do they own Cincinnati.
And 2 of those home favorites didn't cover in New Orleans and Washington.
So now it'll be nuts tonight. It really will. And as somebody who is from the Northeast and the New York metropolitan area, in which it's a baseball city, so to speak, and a basketball city, and football is really a distant third. And they usually only get riled up once the teams begin to do something. Like one year the Jets were 10-1 and the Giants were 9-2 at the same time. And then, okay, we'll actually, put basketball on hold. We'll pay attention to this football thing. But because in all seriousness, the Yankees and the Mets have had such disappointing seasons, this area is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs on the Giants and the Jets. They are so ready. And for the Giants to do what they did last night. All right. And now it's the Jets' turn. Have no idea if we're going to be able to see it on Spectrum cable either. I have no idea if that sucker is going to get resolved by 8 o'clock.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Well, we had that in the 239 for I believe the NBC game because of they're having a dispute with Dish.
Oh, no.
So if you were a Dish person trying to watch NBC, which that really only affects, the Thursday night game.
Right. Well,
and Sunday night game.
Right. Uh-huh.
But fortunately, you didn't miss much with the Sunday night game.
Well, they got 12 days to get it ready for Ohio State, Notre Dame. That's really the big one in Southwest Florida. They need to get it back for.
Darn right.
This NFL stuff, whatever. We'll work it out. But so we don't think that there's a home field tonight, even though this place will be as crazy as it can get for the Jets. And the Jets did beat the Bills here last year. In fact, the Jets defense, that was the game they hurt Josh Allen. A late throw. What happened to Brock Purdy, we thought happened to Josh Allen. He got hit. They were trailing late. He was trying to make a throw, and he got drilled and hit on his arm as he was throwing, and there was some thought he might miss some time. And instead, he ended up playing through the injury, and he was lucky he didn't suffer a major elbow injury. But the Jets beat him and the Bills up in the second half last year. And Von Miller played in that game for Buffalo, and he ain't playing for him tonight. I mean, Mark, we got 2 tackles for the Jets that nobody can block, and we got a bunch of young edge rushers for the Bills who they keep saying they're going to be really good, and they're not. So who's got the edge tonight? The old tackles who can't block or the young pass rushers who can't pass rush?
Jets are hoping it's the guy that gets rid of the ball really quickly, and it won't matter either way.
There you go.
But it's the other side where I'm curious, that defense that had unbelievable numbers a year ago, not necessarily against the best opposition. Can they do it when they're playing starting quarterbacks this year?
You mean 7 backup quarterbacks help them finish 4th in the league defensively? Is that what you're insinuating?
Maybe just a little.
Heck, both times they played the Dolphins, they were playing a second stringer for 1 play. Then they played Skylar Thompson twice.
Miller and Moulton. We'll finish things up with Today Was a Day When, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and what's on tap right here on the Florida Sports Network.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Yeah. Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here.
Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Wow. That's a good one, Canada Relief. Seven sacks, 3 turnovers, and a score. Do they get credit for that special team score too?
Yes.
So they get
Yes.
2 scores.
Yes. I love it. Somebody posted a quit claim deed. State of Wisconsin, the grantor, Aaron Rodgers, the grantee, Jordan Love.
Nice.
On this date, the grantor agrees to transfer ownership of the Chicago Bears.
That's quality material.
That's
right
really
there.
good.
Sorry, Bears fan. When somebody's your daddy, they're your daddy till they're no longer your daddy.
Hey, let's get right into it when we come back because I'm going to end the show on the hard time, okay?
Yeah, we
All
have
right.
to end the show on the hard time.
Okay, just making sure. Yeah.
The show ends when it ends.
I know.
So we'll have roughly 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine.
Can make it happen. I love it. NFL Network's Good Morning pregame show, whatever. They had 6 people pick for the Chargers-Dolphins game. The only person to pick the Dolphins was Michael Irvin. Love it.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
A little bit later than usual, so less time than usual. So we will get right to it on this September 11th. It is time for...
It's time for someone to take back this segment, if for no other reason than to stop David from talking about Meghan and Harry. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
1789, Hamilton appointed first Secretary of the Treasury. 1847, Stephen Foster's Old Susanna sang for the very first time. Today in 1918, the World Series ended. The Red Sox beat the Chicago Cubs for a 4-2 series win. It was the Sox' 5th World Series title. 1927, Ruth gets to 50 en route to 60. 1928, Ty Cobb's last hitting appearance. He would pop out against the Yankees. 1954, the first Miss America TV broadcast. Lee Merriweather of California crowned the 27th Miss America. Today in 65, Help by the Beatles hits number 1. In 67, the Carol Burnett Show debuts on CBS. Ford introduces its first North American subcompact model, the Pinto, today in 1970. 76, Chris Evert retains her title at the U.S. Open. Today in 77, the Atari 2600, the Atari video computer gaming system, is released in North America, revolutionizing the video game industry. Today in 82, Chrissy wins her 6th and final U.S. title. 83, Connors retains his title. Today in 85, Pete Rose gets career hit 41-92, eclipsing Ty Cobb's record. Today in 88, Mats Wilander wins his only U.S. Open, beating Yvonne Lendl. Steffi wins in 93. Andre Agassi wins in 94, his first title. Obviously, today in 2001, we all know what happened in New York City. Sports-wise, 2005, Federer retains his title, beating Agassi. It was Agassi's last appearance in a Grand Slam final. And Alcaraz wins the U.S. Open a year ago today. Ed Sable and Tom Landry both born today. Mickey Hart of the Dead is 80. Tommy Shaw from Styx is 70. Jeff Sluman is 66. Harry Connick Jr. is 56. And Ed Reed is 45. And there you have it.
You've heard folks elsewhere mock Florida is gonna Florida. Well, Mark Miller sees it differently. He calls it the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
For the good today, we go to the UK, where a 24-year-old lost her necklace that had her mom's wedding ring on it. Always made her feel close to her late mother. She telephoned a local metal detectorist by the name of Matthew Kneebone. And he not only took her up on it, but found all the jewels. 2 weeks later, within 10 minutes, he found the chain. Within an hour and a half, all 3 heirlooms uncovered. For the bad, we go to Punta Gorda, where a woman was caught ripping plants out of a home and left on a scooter. Surveillance video shows the woman walking up to the plant, grabbing it by its roots and walking away. Then she takes it to her scooter and rolls away. For the ugly, we stay in Florida, but go to the other coast where Ray Bellucci has now tried again to use his hamsters type device to cross the Atlantic Ocean. It's about the 5th time he's done it. It took the U.S. Coast Guard 5 days to bring him ashore. He would not adhere to their commands to get off of his stupid vessel and come in. He threatened to blow himself up if the Coast Guard approached him a second time. It turned out, well, he didn't have a bomb, but he was arrested after failing to comply with the Coast Guard. Court records show he posted a $250,000 bond. And that is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, September the 11th, 2023. Monday Night Football tonight. Down to 2 points between the Jets and the Bills. David picking the Bills. I have the Jets. I need it for my Fantastic Five to come through on the weekend. Sitting at 2-2 right now. Needing one more to have a winning week to get to week 2 on the season. That'd get me to 500 on the year. That's all I need is just a little start in September to get to 500, and we'll go from there. But if you missed any of the show today, we had a terrific show. Gary Danielson joined us in the 7 o'clock hour, talking all things college football. He's been to see Michigan and Ohio State in the first 2 weeks. He'll have Georgia and South Carolina this upcoming week. Chris Landry joined us in the 8 o'clock hour, where we went over the Alabama and Texas game, as well as the 3 in-state pro teams in Florida that we'll do with Chris every week this year and break down tape, as that's what, he's an expert at. And the Miami Dolphins looking pretty good on tape with their big victory over the Chargers, so much so that we have the reincarnation of Tua on the other side of the glass. When did you buy that, by the way?
Oh, this was a Christmas present. So
You've never broken it out.
The last time that I wore this jersey was when Tua suffered his season-ending injury against the Packers.
And you're putting it back on. So if he gets hurt again, it's all on you.
Well, don't say all that now because he didn't get injured. The last time I wore this jersey was the first time I wore this jersey, and then he got injured.
And you put it back on this morning.
Correct.
So maybe it's just an off-day jersey for you.
You know, here or there, I might have to buy a Hill jersey next. You know, one by one.
He's feeling it. He's feeling it for now.
Maybe throw in a Canes jersey. I mean, there's never been this much juice for a Florida State Miami Hurricanes matchup in many years. I'll say that.
There's been this kind of juice. There was decades of this kind of juice.
I know, but I'm saying it's been a while. It's been a while.
And we've got a long way to go for this year to be a while. Miami, it was a great, of all of the wins this weekend, the Miami Hurricanes win is the most impressive to me. What their offensive line did for Van Dyke blew me away. I did not expect that against the A&M defensive line. They were fantastic. But as Chris Landry pointed out on the show, if Miami doesn't get the hold at the end of the game, we're probably talking about some of the turnovers that the Dolphins made early in that game. But he got the last drive, was unbelievable, and then the defense stepped up, a couple of blitz packages after not blitzing throughout the game, getting it done yesterday afternoon for the Dolphins as they get the win, and it was a great weekend for everything Florida. Holy cow, what a terrific weekend. Miller and Moulton, we thank you so much for listening. David Sampson on the show tomorrow as we look ahead to the Gators and the Vols as well right here. Thanks for listening. Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the